Chapter 1094. Outside the 6 inheritance cultivation towers, there were slight ripples in the void. Jun Xiaoyao's figure appeared. After coming out of the tower, he felt that the flow of time had returned to normal. He clearly felt that countless time had passed in the tower. But when he came to the outside world, he realized that not much time had passed. Their speed is too slow. Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly. He couldn't wait that long, because Mo Holuo had told him before that a war had begun in the desolate border. The Jun family had also moved. No one knew how long they could delay. Jun Xiaoyao needed to know the secret of the ultimate calamity as soon as possible. And he also wanted to know about his father who hadn't shown up yet. What kind of plan did he have? Thinking of this, Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand. On his wrist, the dark 6-pointed star mark flickered slightly. Jun Xiaoyao pondered about this mark. It wasn't just a symbol of the 6 kings. It could also be used to sense and communicate. In just a moment, 5 figures came out of the inheritance cultivation tower at the same time. When she saw Jun Xiaoyao, Kagura showed a surprised expression and said, "First King's Palace, have you already?" "That's right, I've already cleared the level," Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. So fast. Mo Holuo and the others were shocked. Compared to Jun Xiaoyao, they were like pig teammates who dragged him down. "Sir, about the ultimate inheritance of the 6 kings," Mo Holuo asked tentatively. "I've already obtained it," Jun Xiaoyao said. This time, everyone was shocked again. But when they thought of Jun Xiaoyao's talent and strength, they felt that it was normal. "Then First King's Palace asked us to come out because..." Kagura hesitated. "We don't have much time now. The war in the desolate border has already begun. No one knows if the immortal region has any backup plans. So we need to hurry and enter the depths of the dark realm to see if we can awaken the ultimate calamity. But before that, we must obtain the ultimate inheritance of the 6 kings. I will enter the 5 towers and help you obtain it." Jun Xiaoyao's explanation was flawless. Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe opened their mouth. They wanted to say something, but nothing came out in the end. Instead, it was Mao Luo who nodded and said, "Indeed, we should hurry up and awaken the great calamity. But that inheritance..." Zhu Yi gritted his teeth and braced himself. "What? Do you think I'll monopolize the ultimate inheritance of the 6 kings?" Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows. "I wouldn't dare." Zhu Yi lowered his head slightly, the veins on his forehead bulging. Jun Xiaoyao sighed. In fact, they had guessed correctly. Jun Xiaoyao wanted to monopolize the ultimate inheritance of the 6 kings. Of course, he obviously wouldn't say that out loud. After that, Jun Xiaoyao continued to challenge the tower. The 5 kings waited outside. This was because the flow of time inside and outside was different. Therefore, they did not have to wait for too long. They saw Jun Xiaoyao appear again and continue to ascend the next tower. Lord's strength is really unimaginable. With him leading us, we will definitely be able to complete the destiny of destroying the immortal region. Maluo's face was also filled with admiration. Jun Xiaoyao could be said to be the person he admired the most besides the ultimate calamity. The 5 kings watched as Jun Xiaoyao went in and out. It didn't take long for Jun Xiaoyao to clear all 5 inheritance cultivation towers. Of course, the inheritance cultivation tower was not just that. As they entered different realms, their opponents would also be different. Therefore, even if the 6 kings grew up in the future, they could still continue to enter it to cultivate. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, had merely gotten his hands on the ultimate inheritance ahead of time. "It seems that Lord has already obtained the complete ultimate inheritance," Mao Luo said with a smile. "Well, there's no time to lose. Let's continue to go deeper into the dark skyless world." Jun Xiaoyao left with a single sentence before heading off into the distance. This, Mao Luo was slightly stunned, but he didn't think much about it. On the other hand, Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe's faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. They always felt that Jun Xiaoyao was up to no good. But with their current strength and status, they couldn't resist at all. Forget it. If we can really see the calamity, there might be a chance. After all, we are all 6 kings. The calamity shouldn't favor one and discriminate against the other, right? Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe were secretly communicating with their divine thoughts. They could only pin their hopes on the mysterious calamity. Jun Xiaoyao and the others continued to go deeper into the dark skyless world. In the depths of the dark skyless world, it was cold since ancient times. Time seemed to have died here. Everything was lifeless. Only the black mist that lingered all year round told of the mystery, ancient, strange, and ominous of this place. After many epochs had passed, there was a huge gap in time. Once again, someone stepped into the deepest part of the dark skyless world. Jun Xiaoyao and the others came here. That strange aura made them uneasy. Even if they were protected by their identities as 6 kings, they still felt a chill down their spines and their hair stood on end. Kagura and Su Hongyi subconsciously leaned their delicate bodies against Jun Xiaoyao. In such a strange place, only Jun Xiaoyao could give them a sense of security. At that moment, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly stopped in his tracks. In front of him, there was a silver light flashing, floating in the void like a fish. "What's that?" Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe couldn't help but ask. After reaching the depths of the dark skyless world, everyone's minds were tense. The slightest change would make them become frightened birds. Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly, focused his eyes, and said in surprise, "This is sword energy? What?" Hearing Jun Xiaoyao's words, everyone was a little confused. How could there be sword energy in the depths of the dark skyless world? And it's a sword energy that has been here for a long time. I don't know how many eras have passed, but it's still here, Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. How is that possible? The dark skyless world is the dojo of the great disaster. Who can use force and leave sword energy here? Mo Holuo shook his head in disbelief. Jun Xiaoyao didn't say anything, but there was a look of contemplation in his eyes. Just now, he thought that the sword energy might have been left by the ghost-masked woman. But now, after carefully sensing it, Jun Xiaoyao felt that the sword energy gave him a vague sense of familiarity. Could it be? He associated it with the Jun family's attack at this time. Jun Xiaoyao seemed to have guessed the purpose of his father, Jun Wuhui's plan. It's really a good plan. Building one path in the open and another in the dark. Jun Xiaoyao figured everything out. In the void in front of them, there were many such sword energies lingering. Jun Xiaoyao and the others carefully avoided them. Although they didn't know how long these sword energies had been there, the sharp sword intent could still easily tear apart the body of an immortal. After going deeper for a while, finally, Jun Xiaoyao and the others saw the ruins in front of them surrounded by endless black fog. Behind the ruins was the broken dark universe, riddled with holes. What's going on? Did a great battle happen here? Mo Holuo couldn't believe it. This was the dojo of the ultimate disaster. How could there be a battle? He naturally didn't know that some things had been erased from the history of the ultimate emperor clan. This was a memory they didn't want to uncover. At this moment, a system notification sounded in Jun Xiaoyao's mind. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have reached the check-in location. Do you want to sign in? Jun Xiaoyao was shocked. The dark skyless world in the Avacania realm could be said to be one of the most mysterious and strange check-in locations. He was looking forward to what kind of treasure he could sign in for. Sign in. Chapter 1095. Ding. Congratulations to the host for signing in 10-star reward, the 3 lives bronze coffin. The system's mechanical voice sounded. Jun Xiaoyao immediately noticed it. In his inner verse, a simple and heavy ancient bronze coffin appeared. The entire ancient coffin was engraved with totems of the sun, moon, stars, plants, insects, fish, ancestors, and so on. It carried an ancient, vicissitude, and primitive aura. This ancient coffin was quietly floating in Jun Xiaoyao's inner verse. There were no powerful fluctuations emanating from it. However, Jun Xiaoyao felt that the level of this ancient coffin had surpassed that of an emperor weapon. An immortal artifact? Jun Xiaoyao pondered in his heart. If it wasn't an immortal artifact, how could it reach the level of a 10-star reward? But if it was an immortal artifact, this 3 lives bronze coffin didn't emit too shocking an aura. There was also no phenomenon of immortal light lingering around it. First King's Palace? Kagura probed when she saw that Jun Xiaoyao was frozen in place, seemingly lost in thought. Jun Xiaoyao came back to his senses and said, "It's okay, let's move forward." Although Jun Xiaoyao didn't know what this 3 lives bronze coffin was for now. But since it was a 10-star reward, it must have its value. Jun Xiaoyao didn't dwell on it anymore. Everyone moved forward step by step. In front of them was a collapsed ancient ruin. It was like the ruined dojo of the ancient gods of the past. And behind the ruins was a vast and unfathomable universe. It was hard to imagine that in the depths of the Avacania lands in the skyless dark realm. It turned out to be such a broken picture of the universe. Countless dead stars had turned into ice-cold wreckage that had been frozen in this dark universe since time immemorial. There were also all kinds of unknown skeletons floating in the void. The remnant sword energy scattered in the universe like swimming fish. This is the deepest part of the skyless dark realm. Where is the great calamity? Emo Holuo glanced around. His eyes were filled with excitement and confusion. Because very few people knew what the so-called calamity was. So they didn't know what kind of existence it was. Jun Xiaoyao was also probing with his perception. However, he was able to faintly sense that formless and terrifying pressure. It was as if there was a pair of eyes staring at everything in the dark. Just as everyone was puzzled, the Armageddon forbidden artifacts in their hands suddenly reacted. God's weeping war halberd, devil blade heaven's weep, Mahakala mirror, myriad demons pagoda, torch dragon lamp, and 10 tails heaven annihilation plate. The 6 Armageddon forbidden artifacts floated in the air like 6 keys and fell into the universe deep in the ruins. Rumble! It was as if an ancient door had opened. That vast and boundless dark universe was actually shaking and twisting. Countless stars and corpses were instantly shattered into dust. In an instant, the earth and sky shook, and the universe shook. This wave of shaking power left heavenless dark realm, left unspeakable lands, engulfing the foreign side's 10 great provinces. It even reached desolate border, crossing the border pass. All the worlds in the universe seemed to be trembling because of this power. Everything seemed to be announcing that the foreign side's ultimate disaster was about to descend. What's going on? In desolate border, countless creatures were shocked. This was especially the case with immortal domains creatures. They sensed a wave of unmatched power sweeping over from the foreign side, shaking up 10,000 worlds. On the foreign side, many creatures were a bit stupefied as well. However, a few old monsters seemed to have thought of something, their expressions immediately carrying incomparable shock and pleasant surprise. Could it be that the calamity has awakened? The ultimate disaster, on immortal domain's side, could be considered a secret. Only the higher-level experts knew about it. However, on the foreign side, many king clans and above knew about it. This could be said to be the foreign side's ultimate profound mystery, as well as the ultimate force. Not good could it be on immortal domain's side. The expression of 9 Heavens Immortal Academy's great elder who participated in the battle also immediately changed. This aura, it really did open Jun family's Jun Taixian. Jun Tae and the other ancient ancestors' expressions were also a bit grave. It's finally about to wake up, immortal domain's end is about to arrive. There were foreign undying kings who roared with laughter, their voices shaking the world. There were ultimate emperor clan kings who hadn't taken action yet. With a raise of their hands, divine might surged, natural laws interweaving, forming a giant screen of light, about to display the scene inside Heavenless Dark Realm. Even though Heavenless Dark Realm was extremely mysterious, There were ultimate Emperor clan kings who had previously entered, obtaining the opportunities inside. It was also only these existences who had the ability to display the scene inside Heavenless Dark Realm. On Immortal Domain's side, no matter how powerful an existence was, there was no way they could pry into Heavenless Dark Realm. It was because Dark Realm had its own natural laws. Only those ultimate Emperor clan kings were permitted to be reflected. In the void, a boundless screen of light appeared. Black mist-pervaded ruins and ruined cosmos were reflected. In Desolate Border and the Border Pass, many creatures couldn't help but stop fighting, raising their heads to look towards that boundless screen of light. They had a vague feeling that something huge was about to happen. This was especially the case with Immortal Domain's creatures, every single one of them feeling ill at ease, feeling a type of uneasy premonition. Meanwhile, on the foreign side, many creatures who knew the inside information all carried fanatical expressions. There were even more foreign creatures who roared out, wishing for Immortal Domain to witness the descent of the great calamity. At this moment, heaven and earth became deathly still. At this moment, not a sound could be heard. It was to the extent where not many people paid attention to the 6 kings' figures on the screen of light. It was because compared to the 6 kings, everyone was more concerned about what exactly was in the depths of the darkness. Dong, dong. It was like the sound of footsteps but also like the sound of a heartbeat. In the depths of the dark cosmos that had been silent since ancient times, the 6 world-destroying forbidden artifacts opened a great gate of nothingness. A black humanoid figure slowly walked out from within. It was displayed before everyone's eyes. It was a black figure that looked like a giant. His entire body was pitch black and rotten, black blood flowing out from time to time. As the humanoid creature breathed in and out, endless black mist engulfed the boundless cosmos. On his face was half a mask, revealing the other half of his face. It was handsome to the point of being a bit sinister. Handsome half of his face, the other half an ice-cold iron mask. His entire body was rotten, flowing with black blood. It was hard to imagine this type of strangeness. It made every drop of blood in one's body feel as if it was about to freeze. This is the ultimate disaster? In the depths of the skyless dark world, Jun Xiaoyao and the other 5 looked at the figure that stepped out from the depths of the cosmos. Their breathing stopped for a moment. That figure was the source of the dark matter? However, Jun Xiaoyao could feel that the humanoid creature's body was indeed filled with rich black blood energy. It was just that it had not reached the level of black blood. This made Jun Xiaoyao secretly keep an eye on it. The truth of the matter might not be that simple. Greetings to the great disaster! Mo Holuo suddenly shouted, kneeling on the ground, his eyes filled with fanatical worship. Although this ultimate disaster's appearance was very strange and terrifying, it did not change its nature. Jun Xiaoyao could not detect what realm the ultimate disaster was at. He was like the end of everything, and his realm had already reached an unimaginable realm. At least, when facing the immortal kings, Jun Xiaoyao could imagine how strong he was. But now, looking at the ultimate disaster standing in the endless darkness of the broken cosmos, breathing in and out monstrous black mist, he could not imagine how strong the ultimate disaster was. Mo Holuo's shout made the ultimate disaster's gaze fall on Jun Xiaoyao and the other 5. Those pitch-black and numb eyes were cold and still, without the slightest emotion. However, Mo Holuo and the others were completely ignored. The ultimate disaster's gaze only fell on Jun Xiaoyao. A familiar yet disgusting aura. Who are you? Chapter 1096. The sky covering black mist, the ice-cold and deathly still cosmos, the black-blooded humanoid creature. When all of these scenes appeared on the screen of light in Desolate Border's sky, everyone held their breath. Forget about Immortal Domain, even in the foreign realm, it could be said that 99% of the creatures had only heard of the name Ultimate Calamity, never knowing what it was exactly. But now everyone saw it. The source of the foreign realm's darkness, the ultimate fear of all things, one of the world's destruction. Ultimate calamity, it finally appeared in this world. The great calamity has descended, immortal domain's doomsday is also about to arrive. The foreign realms' undying kings roared angrily, their voices shaking the world, many great stars falling from their roars. Is that the calamity? This was the first time many foreign creatures saw it, their eyes carrying ecstasy within their shock. Meanwhile, in immortal domain, most of the creatures were at a loss. It was because they had never heard of it before. However, when they saw the scene on the screen of light, they could also sense that this was an existence whose strength was unimaginably powerful. Meanwhile, the expressions of Immortal Academy's Great Elder and the other Immortal Domain old monsters changed greatly, their pupils trembling. Those ordinary Immortal Domain cultivators might not understand what that black-blooded, black mist-covered creature represented. However, they knew. If the world-destroying six kings were to grow up, they might bring a world-destroying calamity to Immortal Domain. Then the ultimate calamity itself was one of Immortal Domain's greatest tribulations. Meanwhile, right at this time, everyone in Desolate Border heard the voice of the ultimate calamity. It was as if countless demonic voices overlapped, but also as if a demonic god was muttering. The ultimate calamity was questioning Jun Xiaoyao. Even though it didn't deliberately release its aura, the pressure the ultimate calamity exerted was endless. Zhu Yi, Yun Xiaohe, and even Kagura all knelt down. Su Hongyi tightly clenched her teeth, standing behind Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao didn't kneel, she didn't kneel either. Her master was Jun Xiaoyao, not the ultimate calamity. Had Jun Xiaoyao suddenly laughed. Even when facing this endless darkness, Jun Xiaoyao's body was still perfectly straight, his white clothes untainted by a speck of dust. Jun Xiaoyao had long anticipated this. His void fate physique, his heaven-stealing sun-swapping technique, perhaps he could deceive the foreign creatures. Even undying kings might find it hard to grasp his karma. However, what kind of existence was the ultimate calamity? Before his eyes, there were no mysteries. All secrets were no secret. As such, Jun Xiaoyao had no hope of being able to hide from the ultimate disaster. His only goal was to find out the truth of the ultimate calamity and let the immortal region know. That was because an unknown opponent was the most frightening. Immortal Domain? Jun Xiaoyao was able to sense that there seemed to be some sort of power projecting the scene around him. If that was the case, it would fit Jun Xiaoyao's plan perfectly. Immortal Immortal End, Immortal Immortal was the Immortal Immortal. Immortal Immortal Immortal. The ultimate calamity's voice was like countless demonic voices superimposed together, carrying a voice that echoed through the ages. At this moment, all the bones in Jun Xiaoyao's body were cracking. Even someone as strong as the primal chaos physique showed signs of cracking, his flesh about to collapse. One had to know that this was just a question from the ultimate calamity. Who am I? I am the one who came to uncover the truth, to let the world see that the so-called mysterious calamity is nothing more than this. Jun Xiaoyao shook his sleeves, looking down on the world, looking down on the universe. Shock. Extreme shock. The other kings were all stunned. He dared to speak to the ultimate calamity like this? Since ancient times, there weren't many people who did so. Lord, are you crazy? Mo Holuo shouted in disbelief, his eyeballs about to pop out of their socket. Not only him, Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe were also shocked. However, they had long had a premonition that Jun Xiaoyao wasn't quite right, as if he had some kind of premeditated plan. Towards this, Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent, not explaining anything. He directly raised his hand, the power of 2,000 Sumer worlds merging together. The terrifying power of 10 superimposed natural laws directly crushed towards the other kings. This scene was seen through the screen of light, landing in the eyes of countless creatures in Desolate Border. That person is the foreign chaotic physique that appeared in Desolate Border before. I heard Immortal Academy's elders say that the chaotic physique was one of the world destruction 6 kings, but why is he taking action against his companions now? Desolate border, many creatures from immortal domain saw this scene, all of them incredibly shocked. This was especially the case for Immortal Academy's Gu Tizi and the others. In the Battle of Desolate Border before, that foreign chaotic physique could be said to have left them with an incomparably deep lesson. On the battlefield that belonged to the two worlds' heavenly talents, there was a bright and beautiful figure who stared blankly at the white-clothed blurry figure in the screen of light, absent-minded. This woman had bright eyes and white teeth, beautiful beyond compare, her supple fine black hair tied into twin ponytails. Who else could she be if not Jiang Luoli? Could it be? Jiang Luoli's voice was trembling slightly. Hong. The power of 20 Sumer worlds, the power condensed from 10 Tao laws. In addition, it was Jun Xiaoyao who suddenly took action. It could be said that he didn't give the other kings a way out at all. Zhu Yi and Yun Xiaohe, the two of them, were directly slapped to death by Jun Xiaoyao's palm. Even in death, they didn't know Jun Xiaoyao's true identity. Meanwhile, Mo Holua was beaten until he was seriously injured, completely without the strength to resist. It was to the extent where even Kagura was affected. She spat out a mouthful of blood, her beautiful eyes looking at Jun Xiaoyao in disbelief. First King Palace, your respected self is... It could be said that everyone was stunned. It wasn't just Kagura and the others, in Desolate Border, the foreign creatures who were watching the screen of light were all stunned. Why did the World Destruction 6 kings start fighting amongst themselves? Could it be an undying king from Demon Dawn clan seemed to have thought of something, his expression changing. At this moment, the creatures of the two worlds in Desolate Border all stopped fighting at the same time. Because the most important thing was the ultimate disaster. If the disaster happened, even the great emperor couldn't stop it, and the border would be destroyed. At that time, it would be the apocalypse of the immortal realm. My lord Yu, Mo Holua's mouth was full of blood, and he stared at Jun Xiaoyao in a daze. He couldn't even process what was happening. Jun Xiaoyao had attacked them out of the blue. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was cold, and he directly pressed Mo Holua's body with his palm. Pucci. Mo Holua was dead. In just an instant. Of the World Destruction 6 kings, only Jun Xiaoyao, Su Hongyi, and Kagura were left. This move could be said to have stunned all the creatures. Kagura felt cold all over, and her blood was freezing, because Jun Xiaoyao was looking at her. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were very unfamiliar, with a coldness that she had never seen before. He seemed to be thinking about whether to kill Kagura or not. First King's Majesty, what happened to you? Kagura fell to the ground with a thump, her beautiful eyes lost their spirit. She couldn't understand Jun Xiaoyao's actions. And the ultimate disaster, from beginning to end, just watched all of this without any expression. In his dark and numb eyes, there was no emotion that belonged to a living being. To him, the 6 kings were just chess pieces. Even if they died, they would continue to be reincarnated. As long as he didn't die, the real 6 kings wouldn't die. This disgusting aura. Perhaps I know where you came from. Ultimate Calamity said indifferently. Jun Xiaoyao turned to look at the ultimate disaster. The chaotic fog around him, and the great stealing sky swapping technique that had been hiding his aura, slowly dissipated. In the endless immortal light, Jun Xiaoyao's true appearance was completely revealed. White clothes whiter than snow, a prince like jade. Who else in the world could have such a peerless demeanor? At this moment, the world was silent. From the desolate border to the border, countless creatures stopped breathing at this moment. Only I am in heaven and earth. Jun Xiaoyao. Chapter 1097. When the name Jun Xiaoyao was heard, the entire borderland and even the border, the battlefield that was originally filled with awe-inspiring noises, fell into a strange silence. Countless people's thoughts turned sluggish in that instant. On the other side, most of the creatures were shocked, furious, and confused. How could one of the 6 world-destroying kings be related to the June family of the immortal realm? On the other hand, countless cultivators on the immortal realm's side were filled with shock and disbelief. What did they just hear? A name they hadn't heard for a long time. A name that once shone brightly in the 9 heavens immortal realm, a name that was raised to the altar, but ended tragically in the end. It reappeared in this world. The transcendent figure in flawless white robes that was reflected in everyone's hearts appeared once again. And it was in an even more shocking manner. Rumble! At that moment, the sky of the immortal realm was shaking. Billions of lightning bolts were gathering. This was the wrath of the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao had fooled the heavens of the immortal realm. He had won a round of the heavenly Tao with the body of a mortal. What was heaven defying? This was heaven defying. It's the Son of God of the Jun family, Lord Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao, the Son of God. Young Master! It's Xiaoyao, it's really him. He's still alive, he's not dead yet. From the border to the borderland, everyone who was related to Jun Xiaoyao felt their minds rumbling, their nerves trembling from the shock. Their minds were blank, filled with extreme joy, they even felt like they were dreaming. The elders of the Jun family were crying tears of joy. Many of them were thousands of years old, but their eyes were red at the moment, crying and laughing like children. Jun Xiaoyao was an existence similar to the heaven-abandoning monarch and the white-robed divine king in the Jun family's modern era. He was considered the hope of the Jun family to continue the era. At that time, Jun Xiaoyao sacrificed himself, using his body as a shackle to suppress the evil thoughts of the gods, and then sacrificed himself. It was undoubtedly the pain of the Jun family. Although some of the higher-ups of the Jun family always believed that Jun Xiaoyao shouldn't die like this. However, there was no news of Jun Xiaoyao for several years, which made many of the family members despair. But now, Jun Xiaoyao showed up, in an even more shocking manner. Where was he? The strangest and most mysterious place of the foreign realm, the dark sky realm. Since ancient times, how many people could make it there? The Son of God, the divine child of the Jun family, can't be buried by the heavens and destroyed by the earth. At that moment, many of the young geniuses of the Jun family, as well as those in the sequence, began to yell at the top of their lungs to vent their frustrations. After seeing Jun Xiaoyao fall, many forces secretly thought that the Jun family would fall from prosperity to decline. But now Jun's with the immortal realm. Lord Divine Child. The sequences of the Jun family were also agitated. Xiaoyao always likes to be like this. When he doesn't make a sound, he always amazes everyone. Lord Grimm and Jun Lingsong were laughing loudly. It seemed that the 3 giants of the Jun family could be reunited again. I knew that the Lord must still be alive. Somewhere on the battlefield, Yu was extremely excited. He looked up to the sky and roared. Wang Chuan, Yan Qinying, goddess of eternal calamity, and the others were also crying tears of joy. Those who had a relationship with Jun Xiaoyao, Yan Rumeng, Yu Chanwan, Princess Longji, all of them were very excited and couldn't calm down. Jun Xiaoyao, Ling Yan bit her plump lips. She wanted to cry tears of joy. But as the young empress of the Xian Ting, she couldn't show it. However, the only thing she knew was, when she saw the familiar figure in the corner, she was very happy. She didn't know if this mood belonged to Ling Yan or Fairy Maiden Yuan. However, it didn't matter, because now she was Ling Yan and also Fairy Maiden Yuan. Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli's eyes were also red and sparkling. She had always wanted to be strong and not cry. But now, when she saw Jun Xiaoyao's figure on the light screen again, she couldn't help but cry. Linglong, Dice, and Hongdo and lovesickness, no? And her prayers day and night finally had an answer. That man was back. On the other hand, those geniuses who had conflicts with Jun Xiaoyao before. How is this possible? Even the heavens can't bury him? Gu Tizi was shocked and couldn't believe it. He even felt like he was dreaming. And what made Gu Tizi even more horrified was that Jun Xiaoyao was actually the alien chaotic body from the desolate border. From the sacred body of the ancients to the chaotic body, what on earth did Jun Xiaoyao go through? Gu Tizi's eyes were bloodshot, and his face was almost ferocious. In particular, he saw Ling Yan in the corner of his eye, and there seemed to be a trace of tears in his eyes. He knew that Ling Yan must have some connection with Jun Xiaoyao. No, if this continues, the only hope to compete with Jun Xiaoyao is the young king, Gu Tizi thought to himself. The young king he was thinking of was not Ling Yan, the current young king. Instead, it was an ancient young king who had been sleeping for many eras in the Xian Ting. It was said that his talent was beyond imagination. Damn it, Jun Xiaoyao, you should have been buried. But it doesn't matter. You may not be able to survive now. Gu Tizi clenched his fists, and his eyes were cold. What was Jun Xiaoyao's situation now? In front of the ancient ultimate disaster of the foreign realm. What were the odds of Jun Xiaoyao being able to survive? Bieli, is he my benefactor? On the battlefield, Li Qing'er was also surprised. She had been feeling guilty before, and now she finally had a chance to make up for it. Yes, I am also glad that he is alive, but now we can't let our guard down. Jun Bieli's face was still serious. Jun Xiaoyao was in more than just a little bit of danger when faced with the ultimate catastrophe. Many people had thought of this. Everyone in the Jun family was a little nervous. Some forces in the mystic realm who had conflicts with the Jun family were watching the show coldly. As for the foreign realm, many creatures of the Emperor family were furious. Damn it, we were fooled by that kid. It doesn't matter. If the great ultimate disaster really recovers, the 6 kings are just icing on the cake. Let's see how this kid falls. Some of the kings said coldly. In front of the ultimate disaster, even great emperors were extremely weak. There was even less of a need to talk about Jun Xiaoyao. In front of the ultimate disaster, he was only at the supreme being realm. He was simply smaller than an ant, as insignificant as a speck of dust. Inside the heavenless dark world, Kagura was incomparably shocked. Mystic Realm's Jun family, how could this be? First King Palace Yu Kagura was absent-minded, her mind suffering a huge impact. As for Su Hongyi, even though she was surprised, her expression was still calm. No matter what Jun Xiaoyao's identity was, she wouldn't care. Her loyalty didn't waver in the slightest. Jun Xiaoyao didn't pay attention to Kagura, whose emotions were extremely complicated. He looked straight at the ultimate disaster. What was a bit unexpected was that the ultimate disaster was still calm. This was a type of calmness when facing an ant. Even though Jun Xiaoyao's identity as a member of the Jun family had caused him to feel a tinge of anger. Overall, he was still very indifferent. You can hide from everything, but you can't hide from me. You are indeed a very interesting ant. The ultimate disaster said indifferently. Jun Xiaoyao also smiled. To be praised by the ultimate disaster, the source of darkness, this Jun is not worthy of such praise. In the face of such a crisis, Jun Xiaoyao could still talk cheerfully. Even those foreign kings in the border pass sighed with emotion. The mystic realm really did produce a heaven-defying monster. Are these your last words? The ultimate disaster said. Let's make a bet, Jun Xiaoyao said. These words made the mystic realm people have strange expressions. They were reminded of Jun Xiaoyao's rule of winning every bet he made. In the game against the heavens, Jun Xiaoyao always won. Do you have the qualifications to make a bet with me? The ultimate disaster said. An existence who was once injured by my Jun family's ancestor and is in an incomplete state, do you really think of yourself as a high and mighty god? Jun Xiaoyao stood proudly with his hands behind his back, his eyes filled with disdain. The ultimate disaster's aura shook slightly, and a dark storm rose in the dark universe. Jun Xiaoyao's words touched on the past he didn't want to recall. Regarding this, Jun Xiaoyao was still indifferent. Let's make a bet, let's bet, between me, Jun Xiaoyao, and you, the ultimate disaster, Who will have the last laugh? Chapter 1098. One was the ultimate calamity who stood in the endless dark broken universe, known as the source of darkness, the beginning of calamity. The other was Jun Xiaoyao, whose white clothes were whiter than snow, whose cultivation was only at the supreme realm. Logically speaking, these two, not to mention opponents, they were not on the same level at all. This was no longer the difference between heaven and earth. It was the difference in the level of life forms. The ultimate calamity had already transcended the form of ordinary living beings. It was an unimaginably strange existence. A drop of black blood on his body could pollute a world. However, these two were existences that could not be placed on the same level at all. They were making a bet. He he he, cold laughter rang out, like the rough and hoarse laughter of thousands of devils. The ultimate calamity actually laughed. He, who had never had any human emotions, let out a cold laugh. It could be seen that Jun Xiaoyao's actions, in his eyes, were childish and stupid. Betting with me, Calamity, Aunt, I admire your stupid courage. Since that's the case, then I'll grant you mercy once, how about it? The ultimate calamity slowly raised his hand, stretched out a finger, and pointed at Jun Xiaoyao. A finger. Heaven and earth were destroyed. All things returned to the void. Before calamity, only nothingness can be seen. Wherever the finger passed, all matter turned into nothingness. Even the space that originally didn't have anything turned into nothingness. Even space itself didn't exist. This was an incomparably terrifying scene. Even the most primitive particles that built the world were decomposed into nothingness. Facing this finger, Jun Xiaoyao's expression also had a hint of solemnity. Then, boom! The void behind Jun Xiaoyao directly split open. A destructive aura surged in all directions. An incomparably majestic demonic shadow stepped out from within. A terrifying aura suppressed all the worlds in the universe. It was like the most powerful demon king of destruction, coming from the ancient era to the present. What's going on? In the desolate land, everyone held their breaths, staring at the scene on the light screen. That's the evil thoughts of the gods. There were great figures from a mortal domain who cried out in alarm, their eyeballs about to pop out, unable to believe this. The one who stepped out from behind Jun Xiaoyao was the evil thought of the god that had been suppressed in Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe by Emperor Qing. At that moment, Jun Xiaoyao had actually unleashed the evil thoughts of the god right there and then. How is this possible? The son of God of the Jun family not only sealed the evil thoughts of the gods with his own body, but also controlled them? The big shots of the various forces in the immortal region couldn't help but exclaim. By the way, the son of God of the Jun family seemed to be using the identity of the alien chaotic body as a cover. Could it be many people thought of this? The azure arch was a chaotic green lotus. There was only one possibility. Jun Xiaoyao had obtained the inheritance of the azure arch. After understanding this point, many people understood the situation as well. Why was it possible for Jun Xiaoyao to survive? How could the inheritance of the myth monarch be ordinary? These people were partially right, but some of them were wrong. Jun Xiaoyao had indeed relied on the azure arch to suppress the evil thoughts of the gods. But he couldn't control the evil thoughts of the gods. The evil thoughts of the gods didn't have any thoughts or rationality. They only knew how to kill and destroy. Whoever was in front of them, they would kill them. And now, compared to Jun Xiaoyao, the ultimate calamity was obviously more obvious. It was like the difference between the sun and a match. No one would pay attention to the ants at their feet first. Therefore, the evil thoughts of the gods were directly facing the ultimate calamity. Boom! The evil thoughts of the gods directly attacked, and their power shook the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Their demonic power shook the universe. This evil thoughts of the gods seemed to have walked out of the mythological era. That terrifying pressure was simply about to collapse the worlds. The obsession of a great emperor was enough to cause a catastrophe of the world and a river of blood for hundreds of millions of miles. Not to mention the evil thoughts of a myth monarch transformed into a god. That power was enough to annihilate the heavens. One had to know that in order to prevent the evil thoughts of the gods from destroying the world of the ruins of God, the immortal region had thought of many ways. But now, most of the cultivators of the immortal region actually hoped that the evil thoughts of the gods could win. Although the evil thoughts of the gods were once a great threat to the world of the ruins of God. But now, it was related to Jun Xiaoyao's life and death. Everyone naturally leaned towards the evil thoughts of the gods. The void was silently annihilated. The majestic energy of the evil thoughts of the gods melted like ice in spring when it encountered that finger. That wasn't a collision of the power of laws, but a suppression on a higher level. Bang! Although the ultimate calamity's finger was blocked by the evil thoughts of the gods. More than half of the energy on the evil thoughts of the gods was also scattered. After all, he was an undying obsession left behind by the myth monarch, which had turned into an evil thoughts. Compared to a true myth monarch, it was completely incomparable. Perhaps facing a great emperor, the evil thoughts of the gods could easily crush him. But his opponent now wasn't a great emperor. Instead, it was the most ancient and most powerful existence in the foreign world. Is this what you're relying on? Isn't it a bit laughable? The ultimate calamity stretched out his finger again. Endless black blood power gathered, turning into a pitch-black beam of light that could destroy the world. Everything would wither and be destroyed under this black light. Roar! The blood-red light in the eyes of the evil thoughts of the gods surged as if it had gone berserk. He had no rationality, nor did he have the thoughts of a human. He only knew that the creature in front of him was provoking him and attacking him. Billowing chaos energy surged, and the terrifying evil thought's soul power swept through the universe, shattering countless stars. In the void, large cracks that spanned tens of millions of miles spread. When the evil thoughts of the gods were enraged, the world seemed to be about to be destroyed. This scene caused the eyelids of many cultivators in the celestial realm to twitch. Fortunately, Jun Xiaoyao had sealed the evil thoughts of the gods in the world of the ruins of God. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Thinking of this, countless cultivators respected Jun Xiaoyao even more. Even the older generation of cultivators was the same. Heroes didn't care about age. Heroes were born young. And Jun Xiaoyao, who was in the dark skyless world, was surprised to discover that. In his inner universe, the power of faith was increasing again. However, the source of this power of faith wasn't the Destiny Church or the billions of believers in the foreign world. It came from the celestial realm. It seems that being a hero has its benefits. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but smile bitterly. He was originally the person who was the least willing to be a hero. But in the end, he became a hero. It could only be said that fate played tricks on people. But now, the game isn't over yet. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was still very solemn. Although the evil thoughts of the gods had temporarily blocked the ultimate calamity. But he didn't choose to escape. Because Jun Xiaoyao knew. As long as he was in the dark skyless world, the ultimate calamity wouldn't let him leave safely. Jun Xiaoyao, the ultimate calamity. Only one of the two could exist. Third finger. The ultimate calamity's tone was indifferent as he continued to extend his finger. With this finger, endless black blood gathered in the universe. Countless strange runes were imprinted all over the universe. This was a great power of destruction. The black blood invaded all worlds and corroded everything. Even the evil thoughts of the gods roared crazily under this finger, somewhat powerless. Finally, there was a thunderous explosion. The evil thoughts of the gods were directly destroyed. Countless soul power scattered in all directions, and the roaring demonic sound shattered the boundless universe. 3 fingers! It was only 3 fingers. It destroyed the evil thoughts of the gods left behind by the myth emperor. At this moment, all the creatures of the immortal region felt a chill in their throat. The evil thoughts of the gods that could bring endless blood calamity to the immortal region. They were annihilated by the ultimate calamity's 3 fingers. All the cultivators of the immortal region finally understood. What kind of terrifying existence was the so-called ultimate calamity of the other realm? Next, it's you. The ultimate calamity was emotionless. His palm reached out towards Jun Xiaoyao. It was as if the dark universe was capsizing. The endless dark world, accompanied by a monstrous black fog, enveloped Jun Xiaoyao. This was a kind of crushing without any resistance. It was as if he was facing the end of the world's destruction and could only choose a desperate death. But Jun Xiaoyao's expression didn't change. In his choice, there was no such thing as accepting fate. He wanted to give it his all. And at this moment, suddenly, the chanting of gods sounded. The light of dusk shone. It was as if the light of dawn struck. It dispelled this heavy darkness. A tall and slender figure clad in white stood in front of Jun Xiaoyao, blocking his path. The Divine King had no regrets. Chapter 1099. On the desolate border's screen of light, when everyone saw the ultimate disaster's 3 fingers annihilate the evil will of a deity. All of the creatures' fine hairs stood on end, incomparably terrified, shocked to the point where even their souls became sluggish. This was especially true for the creatures on Immortal Domain's side. They couldn't believe that the ultimate disaster was actually this powerful. Meanwhile, what made them feel even more suffocated was that the ultimate disaster continued to point towards Jun Xiaoyao. Lord Son of God! Young Master! Xiaoyao! On Immortal Domain's side, everyone related to Jun Xiaoyao had pale faces, their expressions horrified as they cried out. Jun Xiaoyao, who won against the heavens by half a step, who could even win against the heavens? Could it be that he was really going to fall under the ultimate disaster's hands? Many elders were so nervous that they almost suffocated. If Jun Xiaoyao really fell, that wouldn't just be a loss to the Jun family. It would be a loss to the entire Immortal Domain. It was because Immortal Domain's side would lose an unmatched existence who would suppress all worlds in the future. Big Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli's voice was mournful like a cuckoo crying blood. Her heart also seemed like it was going to stop beating. Right when the 2 realms, hundreds of millions of eyes were staring rigidly at the scene on the screen of light. An incomparably resplendent brilliance suddenly appeared in the dark universe. 3,000 divine kingdoms appeared in the void. It was as if there were 3,000 deities sitting cross-legged, chanting. In the void, an expanse of dim yellow light appeared, as if the dusk of the gods had arrived. Ancient divine texts were imprinted in the void. Boundless power was resisting the ultimate disaster's finger. At the same time, a majestic figure that seemed to support the heavens appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Silent but firm. It was like the world's sturdiest barrier. Even with Jun Xiaoyao's temperament, he was still stunned at this moment, his mind momentarily blank. Although he had already expected that his father might appear, he had not expected his father to appear. After all, this was a trap set up by the Jun family to begin with. But now, when he truly saw this figure, Jun Xiaoyao was momentarily speechless, not knowing what to say. His emotions were complicated, all sorts of emotions. He had never seen his father since he was born. But now, he was standing in front of him, blocking the calamity. Xiaoyao, get behind me. An indifferent but deep voice came from the white-robed figure in front of her. Jun Wuhui did not turn around. However, Jun Xiaoyao slowly clenched his fist. Before the ultimate calamity that could destroy the world. Who could stand up like this and say to him, stand behind him? Only his father, the white-cloaked God King, Jun Wuhui. Father, Jun Xiaoyao finally spoke, although he was not used to it. Don't worry, even if the sky falls, your father will hold it up. Jun Wuhui replied, although his tone was still calm. However, Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be able to detect a trace of gratification in her voice. After all, Jun Wuhui cared about the world, but he had never truly taken care of his wife and children. This was a problem in Jun Wuhui's heart. However, as a real man, this Sioux country, it was difficult to return to the Sioux family. That's Jun Wuhui. It's really the Jun family's white-cloaked God King, he's still alive. Haha, I knew it. How could a mere Scarlet Owl King do anything to the Jun family's God King? On the side of the desolate border, countless people also saw the figure standing in front of Jun Xiaoyao through the light screen. It's Wuhui. Seeing this scene, the Jun family's elders breathed a sigh of relief. It's really the Wuhui God King, that's great. It's our benefactor, I knew it, our benefactor couldn't be defeated. He is our immortal domain's invincible God King. At the border, the fourth Master Scar saw Jun Wuhui's figure and couldn't help but roar, his old eyes filled with tears. The white-cloaked God King, Jun Wuhui, could be said to be the faith of the border's gatekeepers. They had always believed. The God King was here, the border was here. At this moment, countless gatekeepers were shouting, roaring, and incomparably excited. Welcome back, white-cloaked God King. The God King has returned, kill all enemies. Countless creatures in the immortal domain were praying and shouting, their hearts filled with faith. Although they were separated by millions of miles, Jun Wuhui couldn't hear them. However, they were still venting the excitement in their hearts. From this, it could be seen how terrifying Jun Wuhui's reputation in the Nine Heavens immortal domain was. One chi into three pure ones, one person suppressing three great forbidden lands. Since ancient times, how many people had such boldness? Only Jun Wuhui among the heroes of ancient times. Meanwhile, some of the foreign kings were watching coldly from the sidelines. So what if it's the white-cloaked god of war, in front of the great calamity? Everything is nothing. That's right, we can let the great calamity get rid of this great trouble. The immortal king murmured with cold, killing intent. In the depths of the skyless dark world, when he saw Jun Wuhui appear, the ultimate calamities in different emotions stirred up a small wave. Another member of the Jun family. Jun Wuhui's appearance took the ultimate calamity by surprise, but he remained calm. Undefeatable strength was the reason why the ultimate calamity looked down on everything. The source of the foreign realm's calamity is attacking a junior. Isn't that a little too shameful? Jun Wuhui was as handsome as jade, with a dignified appearance, surrounded by 3,000 divine kingdoms. He was extremely aloof. He was like the king of gods worshipped by the gods. Even in the face of the ultimate calamity, he was still calm and unmoved. This was the peerless demeanor of a true god king. The moral standards of living creatures don't apply to me. Besides, I must eliminate the Jun family. When the Jun family was mentioned, the usually emotionless ultimate calamity had a slight fluctuation in its emotions. It was obvious that the relationship between the Jun family and the ultimate calamity was not that simple. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flickered when he realized this. He had guessed that Jun Wuhui's goal was to wait for the six kings to open the skyless dark world. But what was the reason behind this? Did Jun Wuhui have the ability to kill the ultimate calamity? Although he respected his father, Jun Xiaoyao didn't think that Jun Wuhui had this kind of ability. He was very strong. But the problem was that the current Jun Wuhui was only one of the three pure ones. Just as Jun Xiaoyao was puzzled, Jun Wuhui looked at the ultimate calamity and smiled indifferently. I only came here to take back what belongs to my Jun family. Hearing these words, the indifferent ultimate calamity's pitch-black pupils released a terrifying killing intent. Suddenly, the heavens shook. Black fog swept out. A large area of the universe collapsed. Did I poke your weak spot? Jun Wuhui stood with his hands behind his back, his expression indifferent. Angering me will only make you die in more despair. The ultimate calamity still pointed out with a finger. The runes of the great Tao of darkness branded the universe, the power of black blood surged, the black fog swept out like an ocean. A large area of stars were shattered, destroyed, and turned into nothingness. Seeing this, Jun Wuhui's brows furrowed. Although his tone was indifferent, he didn't underestimate the ultimate calamity. Jun Wuhui pushed the God King body to the extreme, lines of runes branded the sky. Facing the ultimate calamity, ordinary moves were useless. The moment Jun Wuhui attacked, it was the dusk of the gods. Light shone, the gods fell. This was the terrifying move of the God King body. It wanted to pull everything into the dusk of destruction. Unparalleled fluctuations swept out. The galaxy shattered, the universe was destroyed, the runes of the great Tao, the divine chains of order, they were all collapsing. It was as if this area was going to be completely erased into nothingness by the ultimate move. Lord God King. At the border, countless people's hearts tightened. The heroic spirit of the white-robed God King surged into the clouds, his spirit shaking through the ages. Did he have the ability to stop the ultimate calamity? Chapter 1100. Hong Long Glong. Heaven and earth seemed to have returned to primal chaos, all matter seemed to have been scattered back to its original state. This was an astonishing scene, representing a great clash of the most powerful. What void-shattering! Before this type of clash, it was nothing more than child's play. Right now, the great battle in desolate border temporarily stopped. The experts of both sides had great tacit understanding. The battle on their side wasn't something that could end in a short amount of time. Meanwhile, what could truly decide the situation between the two realms was only the ultimate calamity. If the ultimate calamity truly revived, walking out from heavenless dark world, then immortal domain would face a great life and death calamity. At the very least, several immortal domains would collapse, millions and millions of lives would be bathed in blood, many undying powers would be wiped out. Meanwhile, if the ultimate calamity could be sealed or slumbered again, then immortal domain's calamity would temporarily be alleviated. As for killing the ultimate calamity, even immortal domain's creatures didn't dare imagine this. Under the eyes of countless creatures, in that region that was blasted into primal chaos, a muffled groan sounded. Jun Wuhui's figure appeared, blasted backwards, his chest shaking intensely, many of the divine runes on his body erased. A strand of blood flowed out from the corners of his lips. Father! Jun Xiaoyao's pupils shook. It's fine. Xiaoyao, you should leave first. Jun Wuhui wiped away the blood at the corners of his lips, his back still perfectly straight. How is this possible? When they saw this scene, the foreign kings of desolate border were all stunned. They originally thought that Jun Wuhui would be killed by the ultimate calamity finger. After all, even something as powerful as a deity's evil will was wiped out by the ultimate calamity finger. No matter how strong Jun Wuhui was, he was still just one of the three pure ones, even if this clone had strength that wasn't much different from the main bodies. Apart from this, the most important thing was Jun Wuhui's cultivation realm. He didn't take that step. That was the most horrifying part of it all. Jun Wuhui's strength really couldn't be measured with cultivation realm. He was also an existence that transcended normal reasoning. This person really is a monster, no wonder he could call himself a king in white, forever guarding the border pass. That's right. There are millions of heroes in the immortal realms, but only the God King left his name behind. Even though they were on the opposing side, some immortal kings were sighing emotionally. Jun Wuhui was indeed a headache-inducing, detestable, yet admirable opponent. Will Lord God King be able to block it? One of the gatekeepers was worried. You must believe in the God King. He is the protector of our immortal region. The fourth Master Scar shouted. His faith was firm. His benefactor, Jun Wuhui, was invincible and undefeatable. In my Jun family, only Wu Hui and Xiaoyao can follow in that person's footsteps, and even surpass him. Jun Xinyu, the great emperor of the Jun family's hidden branch, muttered to himself. Although he and the one from the main branch of the Jun family were both called great emperors. However, He knew that the strength of that person had already surpassed the supreme martial monarch level. Within the heavenless dark world, Jun Wuhui's white robes fluttered in the wind. 3,000 divine kingdoms revolved around him, chanting Sanskrit. He was like a ray of light in the darkness, bringing a glimmer of hope to the despairing world. "Father, I won't leave." Jun Xiaoyao's tone was very firm. He wasn't the kind of person who would act on impulse, but now Jun Xiaoyao felt that he should stay here. "Moreover, I still have a bet with the ultimate calamity. Let's see who will have the last laugh." Jun Xiaoyao was also quite carefree. Life and death were not in his eyes. Jun Wuhui was silent, and then he smiled. He was proud of Jun Xiaoyao. Even if he died, the Jun family would still have Jun Xiaoyao as their hope. As long as Jun Xiaoyao was here, the Jun family would not be destroyed. "You have indeed exceeded my expectations." The ultimate calamity seemed to be a little surprised that Jun Wuhui could block his finger. Since ancient times, how many people have been able to fight against the calamity? I, Jun Wuhui, have no regrets to have this battle. Jun Wuhui smiled carefreely. With Jun Xiaoyao, this Qilin's son, he could also fight to his heart's content. Divine King Regeneration Technique. Jun Wuhui's body was resplendent, imprinted with runes, shining. This was the Divine King Physique's recovery technique. As long as one's foundation was not damaged, they could instantly recover. It was similar to the Divine Spirit Indestructible technique that Jun Xiaoyao obtained from the Book of Life. In just a few moments, Jun Wuhui's injuries were healed. He leaped into the sky, directly arriving in front of the ultimate calamity, and struck out with a seal, Divine King Seal of the Fallen Immortal. The white-clothed Divine King moved gracefully, fighting against the calamity. This scene was deeply engraved in the hearts of countless beings in the desolate border. Many of the women were even more stunned. Jun Wuhui, Jun Xiaoyao, this pair of father and son, was really enough to shock the world. Since ancient times, how many heroes could there be? Bang! In the void, great destruction erupted again. Facing this ultimate disaster that could bring despair to everyone, Jun Wuhui did not have the slightest hesitation or retreat. You are his father? This fearless courage of the ignorant comes from the same source. Facing the incoming Jun Wuhui, the ultimate calamity's expression was cold. Around him, black blood condensed into a barrier, imprinted with black runes. Jun Wuhui's seal did not break through the black blood barrier. The ultimate calamity continued to point out. He did not have any divine abilities. Perhaps, at his level, unless it was a true world-ending forbidden move, all other moves were superfluous. Simple, a finger, a palm, a fist, they were all supreme technique. This was the ultimate calamity that brought endless fear and pollution to the world. An invincible existence. Even the battle with the white-clothed Divine King, in the eyes of the ultimate calamity. It was nothing more than a game of cat and mouse. Facing this almost hopeless battle, Jun Wuhui's eyes did not show any signs of dejection. God's judgment, fallen God's seal. In the 3,000 divine kingdoms, the 3,000 gods sitting cross-legged sent down their divine retribution at the same time. This was the God's judgment, it had unparalleled power. With the support of the 3,000 gods, it turned into the fallen God's seal. The void was crushed, even the Tao was destroyed by this seal. Bang! The black blood barrier shook violently. It's all useless. The black tide will destroy the world, the true black calamity will descend. I am one of the apocalypse's 4 apocalypses. I will first bring calamity and despair to the world. Your resistance is like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. The ultimate calamity was indifferent from the beginning to the end. His demonic voice echoed through the ages, bringing endless despair to everyone. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with a dark light. He heard a key message from the ultimate calamity. Apocalypses 4 apocalypses. Regarding this, Jun Xiaoyao thought of a story from the Bible in his previous life. When the world-destroying calamity arrived, the apocalypse's 4 horsemen would descend and bring the final destruction to the world. The 4 horsemen represented war, famine, plague, and death. Of course, that was a story from the Bible in his previous life. But now, the apocalypse's 4 apocalypses that the ultimate calamity mentioned made Jun Xiaoyao think of this. Black blood pollutes the endless world. All living beings that come into contact with it will fall into madness. Doesn't that correspond to the plague of the 4 apocalypses? Jun Xiaoyao thought of this. He felt a chill run down his spine. Could it be that there are 3 more taboo existences like the ultimate calamity in this world? This made Jun Xiaoyao think of the great terrors of the world. The origin, the great calamity, the mysterious realm sea, the hidden existences of the burial realm, as well as the chaos of the darkness. It seems that behind all of these calamities, there are the shadows of the apocalypse's 4 apocalypses. They are the driving force behind the great calamity. The 4 apocalypses, what kind of existences are they? Were they created by some unimaginable existence, or were they the source of their own destruction? The waters of this world are too deep. Jun Xiaoyao's mood was a bit heavy. However, this also motivated him to obtain even more power. In the desolate border, many immortal domain beings saw the scene on the screen, their eyes dimming. What should we do? Even Lord Divine King can't break through the ultimate calamity's defense. That's right, Lord Divine King is already strong enough, but the opponent is the ultimate calamity. They couldn't even break through the defense. This gave them a feeling of despair. If it was anyone else, even a great emperor, facing this situation, they would be powerless, unable to do anything. But Jun Wuhui's expression was firm, his eyes shining. He continued to attack, his fighting spirit not decreasing at all. Foolish. The ultimate calamity's tone was cold. Bang. It was another world-shaking strike that could destroy the universe. Jun Wuhui was forced back again. This time, he spat out a mouthful of blood, dyeing his white clothes red. Lord Divine King. At the border, countless people's hearts twitched. The 4th Master Scar even shouted, his old eyes trembling. Wuhui. The Jun family elders' hearts were also trembling. Is there really no other way? The immortal domain cultivators all felt despair. Even the faith in their hearts, Jun Wuhui, couldn't stop it. Who else could save this world? Chapter 1101. At this moment, the hearts of all the living beings in the immortal realm were filled with despair. The great emperors of the immortal realm were all silent. The Big Dipper Emperor let out an old sigh. Even he would definitely not be able to block the attack of the ultimate calamity. Jun Wuhui being able to fight the ultimate calamity to such an extent was already beyond many people's expectations. The white-robed Divine King lived up to his name. At this moment, in the skyless dark realm, Jun Wuhui's white clothes were stained with blood, and the blood on his chest bloomed like peach blossoms. Father Jun Xiaoyao's pupils also trembled. He had been invincible since he was born and had dominated the world. He was in high spirit. But now, Jun Xiaoyao felt a rare sense of powerlessness. This was an emotion that he had never felt before. I'm still too weak, Jun Xiaoyao thought to himself. Although he was invincible among the younger generation, even some of the older generation powerhouses weren't his match. But Jun Xiaoyao still felt that he was too weak. And at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao suddenly noticed that the seed of faith in his body seemed to be trembling slightly because of his emotions. It seemed to be brewing something. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao also noticed that the 10-star reward for signing in, the 3-world copper coffin, seemed to be trembling a little. This is Jun Xiaoyao's expression froze. At this moment, Jun Wuhui continued to make his move. Facing the ultimate calamity, he didn't hold back and directly used his forbidden move. Jun Wuhui activated the Divine King body's extreme divine power. At the same time, he patted his chest with his palm and sacrificed the blood of his heart. In order to use this move, He needed to sacrifice blood. Behind Jun Wuhui, 12 blurry lights gathered, and a terrifying aura swept across the vast universe. Each aura was incomparably shocking. Like 12 gods, behind Jun Wuhui, divine light illuminated the universe and shook the greater world. Ritian, Yuetian, Brahma, Earthly, Ishishan, Vaishyaman, Sakra, Wind, Fire, Water, Flame, and Rakshasa. The 12 gods appeared together, their might suppressing the universe and shaking the universe. God King Forbidden Technique, 12 gods heavenly hunt. Jun Wuhui shouted, and divine power erupted from his entire body. This was the terrifying forbidden technique of the God King physique. 12 gods heavenly hunt. Once the forbidden move was unleashed, heaven and earth collapsed, the universe was destroyed, and all living things fell silent. The power of the 12 heavenly deities was imbued into Jun Wuhui's body, and he unleashed a forbidden attack. It was as if he wanted to annihilate all existences. Hiss! In desolate border, countless creatures saw this scene, their scalps turning numb. Is this the true strength of the Jun family's divine king? It's just too terrifying. Some of the utmost powerful beings sighed. This move was enough to kill a monarch. Ultimate Calamity also let out a soft sound of surprise. Then, he made his move. This time, it wasn't a finger, but a palm. From this, it could be seen that even Ultimate Calamity was surprised by this move and became slightly more serious. Bang! An indescribable collision erupted. Strangely, there was no sound. Because even the void was being annihilated soundlessly, there was no material existence, so naturally, no sound could be transmitted. Such a terrifying collision even blasted out the primal chaos energy. There seemed to be a gap in time. With a pu sound, Ultimate Calamity's black blood barrier was broken. Then, Ultimate Calamity was forced back a step. It was precisely this step that made the pupils of the foreign kings suddenly contract. How could this be? The mighty Calamity was actually forced back a step. Countless foreign creatures cried out in alarm, unable to believe this. What kind of existence was Ultimate Calamity? Even if it was just a single step back, it was enough to make countless people feel horrified. On the other hand, Jun Wuhui's divine king physique was crumbling, many bloody wounds appearing on the surface of his body. Cold and beautiful blood dyed the divine king's white clothes red. He was injured, to the extent where even his divine king source was injured a bit. After smashing apart many stars, only then did Jun Wuhui's figure stop, coughing out another mouthful of blood. "Father!" Jun Xiaoyao couldn't help but speak out. At the same time, his eyes looked towards Ultimate Calamity, carrying endless coldness. He wasn't like Jun Wuhui, who cared about all living beings. He only cared about his family, his loved ones. And Jun Wuhui was precisely the existence with the deepest bloodline with him. That was why Jun Wuhui was also one of Jun Xiaoyao's reverse scales, one that couldn't be touched. "You actually didn't die. You have indeed exceeded my expectations." Ultimate Calamity looked at Jun Wuhui, who was covered in blood yet still standing, a bit surprised. "The battle is far from over." Jun Wuhui's expression was resolute. 12 gods heavenly hunt was his divine king forbidden move. However, it only broke through Ultimate Calamity's black blood barrier, forcing him back a step. But truthfully speaking, this was an astonishing feat in itself. No one would look down on Jun Wuhui because of this. Instead, they would feel even more admiration for him. Because not everyone could fight against the Ultimate Calamity to such an extent. In front of Calamity, even great emperors were incomparably weak as children. Jun Wuhui urged on his divine might again, using the divine king regeneration technique. However, his divine king source was injured. His recovery ability was greatly inferior to before. Meanwhile, right at this time, outside Skyless Dark Realm, there was actually undying aura that pervaded the air again. Those were some undying kings who were still in the foreign realm. even though Desolate Border had gathered many top-level foreign realm forces. However, the foreign realm was vast, there were still Undying Kings who hadn't fought yet. Right now, several Undying Kings appeared outside Skyless Dark Realm, wishing to have an audience with Ultimate Calamity. Not good. On Desolate Border's side, when Immortal Domain's creatures saw this scene, their faces even more so became deathly pale. Just Ultimate Calamity alone was enough to make Jun Wuhui fall into a life-and-death situation. Now, several more Undying Kings appeared in this world. Jun Wuhui and Jun Xiaoyao, this father and son pair, apart from death, it seemed like they didn't have a second choice. Not good, we have to save them. There were Jun family elders who shouted. Calm down, it's too late to go now, we can only trust them. Wuhui isn't such a reckless person. Jun family's 8 ancestors, Jun Tianming coldly shouted. Even though this was the case, Jun Tianming's fists were still tightly clenched. This father and son pair were the Jun family's hope for tens of thousands of years, they definitely couldn't lose them. This is bad. The eyes of the Jun family's 3 great emperors, including Divine Universe Great Emperor, became fierce at the same time, wishing to tear open the void, create a passage, head to the foreign realm. With their great emperor's methods, accomplishing this was naturally extremely easy. However, they were immediately stopped by the foreign realm's Emperor Clan Kings. Where are you all going? Isn't it better to just watch the show? Ultimate Emperor Clan's Kings sneered. The consequences of angering my Jun family, can your foreign realm endure it? Divine Universe Great Emperor was furious, his emperor might shaking heaven and earth. Meanwhile, on Skyless Dark Realm's side, a divine turtle that was the size of a continent turned into a bald elder with a tortoise's back. He stopped outside Skyless Dark Realm just like that. Shanao of Beach, what is the meaning of this? Those Undying Kings who wanted to meet the ultimate disaster saw Shanao of Beach, their expressions falling. No one is allowed to enter. Shanao of Beach said coldly. Jun Wuhui didn't let him enter the depths of Dark Realm. Even though Shanao of Beach wasn't weak, when facing the ultimate disaster, he would only be weaker than Jun Wuhui. Shanao of Beach, it seems like you want to betray my realm. The Undying Kings were furious. Shanao of Beach didn't say anything, his aura erupting. Words already had no meaning. Even if he was alone, he would rather die than let them enter and disturb Jun Wuhui. I, Shanao of Beach, am willing to sacrifice my life for Benefactor's family. Shanao of Beach's aura erupted, rushing into the 9 heavens, taking the initiative to attack those Undying Kings. That Undying King, could it be on the Jun family's side? There were ancient ancestors who saw Shanao of Beach through the screen of light, a hint of shock flashing past their eyes. Some ancient ancestors seemed to vaguely remember that in some vague records, that ancient ancestor had previously saved a divine turtle in a forbidden land. However, later on, there was no news of his whereabouts. They didn't expect him to actually hide in the foreign realm for several eras, even becoming a foreign Undying King. However, just one won't be enough to stop him. A Jun family elder was anxious. Right at this moment, on Dark Realm's side, Jun Xiaoyao also sensed that at the edge of Dark Realm, the auras of the clash of Undying Kings erupted. Jun Xiaoyao didn't hesitate in the slightest, directly activating a red spider lily. At the same time, a red line appeared on his wrist. Good steel should be used on the blade's edge. This time, let's see if you all can keep your promise. Jun Xiaoyao thought inwardly. Right now, it was an extremely dangerous moment. It was easy to add flowers to embroidery, but difficult to provide timely assistance. Chapter 1102. As Jun Xiaoyao took out the red spider lily, a large patch of scarlet-red spider lilies suddenly bloomed in the void. A peerlessly beautiful and otherworldly figure stepped on the Permitha flower bridge and appeared. 3,000 strands of black hair scattered in the void, each strand crystal clear. It was the phantom of the red spider lily mother. Jun Xiaoyao had only used it once before. He killed a quasi-immortal of the Haki imperial family across the endless void. At this moment, the phantom of the red spider lily mother appeared again and rushed to the edge of the dark realm to join the battle. The red spider lily mother? Shanao of Beach was also surprised, but he quickly figured it out. Looks like it's the doing of that Mr. Xiaoyao, Shanao of Beach thought to himself. He couldn't help but sigh. Like father, like son. This pair of father and son were really monsters. Seeing the phantom of the red spider lily mother joining the battle, Jun Xiaoyao heaved a sigh of relief. To be honest, he had some hope that the real body of the red spider lily mother would appear. After all, it was the ghost-masked woman's reincarnation. There was no doubt about the strength of the red spider lily mother. She had already far surpassed the level of an ordinary immortal king. However, Jun Xiaoyao didn't place his hopes on the red spider lily mother. If she came, it would be out of goodwill. If she didn't, it would be out of her duty. On the other side, in the void, an endless rain of flowers appeared. In the light, a beautiful, charming, and peerless figure appeared. Behind her, 9 snow-white fox tails fluttered, covered by endless runes. In terms of elegance, she wasn't much inferior to the red spider lily mother. It was the immortal king of Tushan, the 9-tailed king, consort da Fei. During the Tushan matchmaking convention, Jun Xiaoyao improved the Tushan's love dream immortal sutra. Therefore, the 9-tailed king promised Jun Xiaoyao a favor. Red spider lily mother, 9-tailed king, did the two of you betray our world? Seeing these two figures appear, the immortal king's faces became a bit more solemn. If it was just the Shanao of Beach, they could quickly suppress him if they attacked together. But with the red spider lily mother and 9-tailed king, they weren't confident. 9-tailed king was fine. The red spider lily mother, even if it was just a phantom of the red spider lily mother. I didn't betray him. I only owe him a favor. Kings, please don't make things difficult for me. The 9-tailed King da Fei's soft body was shrouded in endless immortal light. Her face was blurry. Of Beach King of Beach Beach King of Beach of Beach of Beach of Beach Mother. Of Beach Bay of Beach King 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 Mother Mother Lily Mother of King Mother Mother of Bay of her God God. Do you know that you're helping someone from the Jun family of the immortal domain? This is betrayal. An immortal king questioned. My of King King King. 9-tailed King da Fei's voice also turned colder. Humph, then we can only fight. Those immortal kings attacked again. On the other side, the illusory figure of the red spider lily's mother, Shanao of Beach and the 9-tailed king also made their moves. Immediately, outside the skyless dark world, a chaotic battle between kings erupted, shaking the heavens and the earth. Although it wasn't as destructive as when the ultimate calamity attacked, it was still extremely terrifying. Waves surged in all directions, causing heaven and earth to turn upside down and the universe to tremble. Jun Xiaoyao breathed a sigh of relief. Needless to say, the red spider lily's mother, the 9-tailed king, had kept her promise even after knowing his true identity. This indeed made Jun Xiaoyao think highly of him. This way, for the time being, no one will be able to disturb us. However, the true danger isn't those immortal kings, but rather the ultimate disaster. Jun Xiaoyao looked at the battlefield again. Although Jun Wuhui stood upright, his white robes were stained with blood, like blooming peach blossoms. Boring battle, let's end it here. Ultimate calamity had clearly lost its patience. Jun Wuhui's strength was beyond his expectations. However, he was still an ant trying to shake a tree and overestimating his own strength. Ultimate calamity attacked again. This attack wasn't just aimed at Jun Wuhui. At the same time, it was aimed at Jun Xiaoyao, wanting to completely erase him. Gongzi! Su Hongyi's eyes, which were already bloodshot, started to bleed even more. Back off first! Jun Xiaoyao waved his sleeves and pushed Su Hongyi out of this place. Kagura looked at all this with a complicated expression. Jun Xiaoyao didn't have time to care. At this moment, he was frowning. Waiting for death wasn't Jun Xiaoyao's style. Boom! Jun Wuhui once again blocked in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Terrifying dark runes and black blood surrounded Jun Wuhui, wanting to corrode him. Haha, I've changed my mind. I'll let the black blood corrode your mind, and let you watch yourself fall into darkness. This feeling must be wonderful, right? He changed his mind and wanted to corrode Jun Wuhui's will. He wanted to turn the white-robed Divine King into a dark killing god. No, Divine King. Divine King is invincible. At the border, everyone who saw this scene was so angry that their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Fourth Master Scar's eyes were so wide that it seemed like they were about to explode. They could see that the black blood had surrounded Jun Wuhui, wanting to corrode him and dye his white robes black. This was something that none of the Immortal Region cultivators could accept. How could the Divine King of a generation die so sadly? Father! Jun Xiaoyao was also shocked. Chaotic aura surged all over his body, and his supreme divine blood surged. At the same time, he activated the black blood. His black hair turned white, and his eyes emitted a faint purple light. A terrifying power was brewing in Jun Xiaoyao's body. How can this be? You can actually control the power of the black blood? Ultimate Calamity looked at Jun Xiaoyao with incomparable surprise. His pitch-black and numb eyes instantly emitted a soul-stirring cold light. His emotional fluctuations this time were greater than before. Jun Xiaoyao was a creature of the Immortal Region. Not only did he not go crazy because of the black blood, but he could also control the power of the black blood. This was indeed out of Ultimate Calamity's expectations. Jun Xiaoyao attacked. His power was shocking as he attacked the black blood that surrounded Jun Wuhui. However, he was unable to break it. Even though Jun Xiaoyao had broken through the extreme realm and could be called a supreme being in the end, he was still only a supreme being. He was still far from being able to contend against an existence like Ultimate Calamity. Interesting. Since that's the case, then I'll erase your consciousness and let you become the true Dark Devil Monarch. Ultimate Calamity stretched out his hand and reached out towards Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. He also wanted to completely corrupt him with the black blood. To be honest, Jun Xiaoyao's talent and strength surprised Ultimate Calamity. If such a figure was killed directly, even Ultimate Calamity felt that it would be a pity. He felt that rather than killing Jun Xiaoyao, it would be better to let Jun Xiaoyao become the true Dark Devil Monarch. It was also a good choice. Looking at the dark hand that reached out, Jun Xiaoyao's gaze was incomparably sharp. I, Jun Xiaoyao, would rather die than be used by you. Jun Xiaoyao's supreme being divine blood was burning and boiling. He wanted to go all out. He would not let this life down. However, just as everyone was nervously watching, a peerless figure silently tore through the void and appeared in front of Jun Xiaoyao. She was dressed in a black dress that wrapped around her proud figure. She was peerless, graceful, and beautiful. Her bare feet tapped on the void, and great Tao patterns spread out under her sparkling feet. Countless spider lilies bloomed around her, blooming all over the universe. They were gorgeous and withered. The great Tao resonated, and heaven and earth shook. This was the phenomenon of a supreme being. The person who appeared was actually the mother of the spider lilies. It was not an illusion like before, but her real body. Chapter 1103. The mother of the red spider lilies, a legendary powerhouse of the other side, her strength was unfathomable, far surpassing ordinary immortal kings. At the same time, Jun Xiaoyao also knew that the mother of the red spider lilies was the ghost-masked woman's previous life. And who was the ghost-masked woman? She was an existence who walked through ancient history and the long river of time. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't determine what realm the ghost-masked woman was at. But from the situation when the ghost-masked woman entered the skyless dark world, the ultimate calamity shouldn't be able to do anything to the ghost-masked woman, even if the calamity might be in a sealed state at that time. Senior, you really came. Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly. Although he had already expected it. But when he saw the mother of the red spider lilies appear, Jun Xiaoyao still secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that as the ghost-masked woman's previous life, the mother of the red spider lilies was indeed greatly influenced by her. The ghost-masked woman had left behind many contingencies to help Jun Xiaoyao grow. This time, Jun Xiaoyao encountered a life-and-death crisis. As the ghost-masked woman's previous life, the mother of the red spider lilies naturally couldn't remain indifferent. You are really reckless. The mother of the red spider lilies stood in front of Jun Xiaoyao and said indifferently. Obviously, she didn't understand Jun Xiaoyao's desperate actions. Jun Xiaoyao looked at the graceful back of the mother of the red spider lilies and sighed silently. He knew that this time, he had brought a lot of trouble to the mother of the red spider lilies. After all, if she had a choice, the mother of the red spider lilies definitely didn't want to provoke the ultimate calamity. I'm sorry, but I hope Senior can save my father, Jun Xiaoyao said in a deep voice. He didn't want to live off a woman. However, he was forced to do so. No matter how monstrous Jun Xiaoyao was, it was impossible for him to directly erupt and destroy the ultimate calamity. That was simply unrealistic and went against common sense. The mother of the red spider lilies didn't say anything. Reason told her that she shouldn't get involved in this matter. But there was always a voice in her mind that told her to save Jun Xiaoyao. Then she heard Jun Xiaoyao's request. The red spider lily's mother was slightly surprised. She knew very well just how prideful Jun Xiaoyao was and how sharp his spirit was. But now, he was willing to beg her like this. It could be seen that Jun Wuhui was very important to Jun Xiaoyao. The mother of the Permitha flower didn't say much. She waved her jade-like hand and a large number of Permitha flower petals appeared in the air, rushing towards Jun Wuhui. Jun Wuhui was wrapped in endless dark runes and black blood. The situation was extremely critical. However, the Hellflower Mother's attack didn't break through the layer of black blood. Ultimate Calamity's black and numb eyes looked at the red spider lily's mother, his gaze indifferent. A supreme being who hasn't reached the level of a god yet. He's even further away from the level of a mythical calamity. What qualifications do you have to resist me? Ultimate Calamity's palm pressed down on the red spider lily's mother. It was as if the pitch-black universe had enveloped it, wanting to melt the red spider lily's mother. The mother of the red spider lilies had a peerlessly beautiful face that was extremely cold. On her snow-white forehead, there was a red spider lily imprint that was exceptionally bright red. She raised her hand and endless great Tao runes appeared, gathering and finally forming a great Tao treasure bottle. As the bottle spun, it seemed to be able to swallow everything. This was a technique that belonged to the ghost-masked woman. Rumble. The void was twisted into pieces and the divine chains of order were broken. All matter seemed to be swallowed by the great Tao treasure bottle. But even so, the power of ultimate calamity was too strong. The majestic black blood that could destroy the universe poured into the great Tao treasure bottle. In the end, it actually directly exploded the great Tao treasure bottle. The terrifying energy exploded, causing this already broken universe to be even more riddled with holes. It could be said that if this wasn't the dark sky world, if it was in the outside world, the battle fluctuations would definitely be able to destroy the world. A faint groan sounded. The red spider lily's mother was forced back, her figure retreating. In the end, a figure appeared behind the red spider lily's mother, holding her shoulder. It was Jun Xiaoyao. Senior, if you really can't do it, let's leave first. Jun Xiaoyao's voice was calm. He finally thought it through. Although the red spider lily's mother was strong, it was still useless against ultimate calamity. Since that was the case, why sacrifice the innocent? The karma between them, father and son, let them face it personally. What's the use of saying all this now? The red spider lily's mother's voice was very cold. carrying a trace of anger, as if she was resentful towards Jun Xiaoyao for treating her like an outsider. Senior Jun Xiaoyao was speechless for a moment. Everything should end. After you all fall, it will be the day of the celestial realm's destruction. Ultimate Calamity had no patience. The game of cat and mouse should also end. Hearing these words, all the celestial realm cultivators in the desolate border turned deathly pale, without a trace of blood. A feeling called despair filled everyone's hearts. What should we do? The Divine King has been imprisoned, about to fall into darkness. Who can save him? Ultimate Calamity is attacking. Even the great emperors and ancient emperors can't stop it. Does our celestial realm still have hope? Many celestial realm cultivators cried out in grief, unable to accept this result. In the border pass, Fourth Master Scar and the other protectors were also furious, calling out the Divine King's name. It could be said that the entire celestial realm sank into a state of despair. Meanwhile, in contrast to the celestial realm, the foreign side was full of fighting spirit, morale surging like a rainbow. Haha, this golden age has indeed ushered in the final days of the celestial realm. In the great war between the two realms since ancient times, it was still our side that came out on top. The foreign side's undying emperor clans and ultimate emperor clans kings were all shouting, their voices grand. Hateful, if not for my Jun family's most powerful being not being here. The Jun family's old ancestors were all secretly clenching their fists. This was especially true for the 18th ancestor. He had watched Jun Xiaoyao grow up, treating him like his own grandson. He naturally couldn't accept that Jun Xiaoyao would fall under the ultimate calamity's hands. Don't be in such a rush, things haven't come to a conclusion yet, the result is still unknown. The Jun family's 8th ancestor, Jun Tianming, his eyes sunk. These old ancestors didn't know about the Jun family's plan this time. However, he vaguely knew a thing or two. Within the skyless dark realm, the ultimate calamity wanted to completely make Jun Wuhui and Jun Xiaoyao fall into darkness. Meanwhile, he was also going to directly eliminate the Permi-Tha Flower Mother. Right when the ultimate calamity was about to take action, that Jun Wuhui who was wrapped in black blood suddenly didn't move at all. Previously, the black blood was still shaking, proving that Jun Wuhui was struggling, trying to break free from the black blood's imprisonment. However, now, there wasn't the slightest bit of movement. Oh, it ended so quickly? The ultimate calamity said indifferently. Father. Jun Xiaoyao's heart tightened. Normally, his temperament was indifferent, rarely caring about anyone. However, right now, Jun Xiaoyao really found it hard to calm down. He was scared that his father would become unfamiliar, that he would completely fall into darkness. Right at this time, a rumbling sound suddenly sounded. The black blood that was wrapped in it trembled intensely. This immediately made heaven and earth become silent. In the desolate border, countless creatures were holding their breath. Could it be that there was still a turning point in this hopeless situation? After a short moment of deathly silence, accompanied by an incomparably terrifying energy fluctuation, an awe-inspiring voice sounded. I, Jun Wuhui, am willing to use this body to dispel the boundless darkness in this world. Chapter 1104. A cold voice resounded through the dark cosmos. It was like the dawn of dawn, erupting in the endless darkness. Dazzling radiance broke through the black blood's shackles. A figure shrouded in boundless divine light emerged from the black blood that had been split open. Black hair fluttered about, blood-soaked white clothes fluttering about, eyes like the sun and moon, releasing oppressive cold radiance. The Divine King reappeared. Meanwhile, right now, Jun Wuhui's body already no longer had the 3,000 Divine Kingdoms' irregular scenes. It was because the 3,000 Divine Kingdoms were completely absorbed into his body. Jun Wuhui's Divine King body once again broke through the limits, climbing to a new peak. That is, in desolate border, countless people were so excited they almost suffocated. June family's elders also temporarily released a breath of relief, saying, "Worthy of being Wu Hui, the divine king body has already been used to perfection by him." Correct, the divine king body has another special characteristic: endless battle intent, becoming stronger the opponent. The stronger the enemy, the more the divine king body's potential can be stimulated, breaking through the limits of one's own strength, continuing to break through the peak, all the way until one surpasses the enemy. It wasn't just the June family. The other great figures, old antiques, living fossils, were all stupefied, sighing in amazement. Many people finally understood. Why was Jun Wuhui called the white-clothed divine king, an unmatched war god? Born without fear, fighting to the end, this was a true exceptional war god. On the other side, the foreign kings all became silent. What else could they say? Jun Wuhui, haha, what a Jun Wuhui! Ultimate Emperor Clan's king said coldly. In the border pass, when Fourth Master Scar and the other protectors saw this scene, they were all so excited they couldn't help but roar out, their emotions surging. Benefactor, born as a king. Fourth Master Scar was overwhelmed with emotions, truly wishing he could stand at Jun Wuhui's side, face the boundless darkness together with him. Divine King Great One, please fight for my immortal domain. A protector roared towards the sky, kneeling down on one knee in skyless dark realm's direction. Divine King Great One, please fight for my immortal domain. The second protector's eyes were completely red, tears of blood flowing. He roared out, roaring in anger. Then it was the third, fourth, fifth place. These gatekeepers had been guarding the border for countless generations. The prosperity of the immortal realms had nothing to do with them. What was the belief that he had been holding on to until now, other than protecting the safety of the immortal region? It was all because of Jun Wuhui. The white-clothed God King was the faith of all the guardians. Your Excellency, please fight for the immortal region. Fourth Master Scar let out a long howl as well. He was so excited that he couldn't control himself. It was hard to imagine that a Chaos Dao sovereign would be so agitated and lose his composure. 1 spread to 10, 10 spread to 100, 100 spread to 1,000, 1,000 spread to 10,000. Even the cultivators of the imperishable forces were yelling. Regardless of whether it was the older generation or the younger generation, it was the same. The quasi-emperors and ancient ancestors of the Jun family, and even the divine universe emperor, were all facing the direction of the skyless dark world and cupping their hands. Wu Hui, please fight for the Jun family and the immortal region. Even the Xian Ting, the great emperor of Xian Ting, who held the dragon monument of Fuxi, who was in competition with the Jun family. He also let out a sigh, and then cupped his hands in the direction of the skyless dark world. Jun Wuhui, please fight for the immortal region. Billions of creatures knelt down. The Supreme Emperor cupped his hands. Countless voices converged into a shocking wave, shaking the heavens and the earth, surging with passion. It resounded throughout the border. It resounded throughout the desolate border. It resounded throughout the 9 heavens, immortal region. It resounded throughout the heavens and realms. White-clothed God King, please fight for the immortal region. Who in the entire universe had such might and power? Who had such faith? Only the Jun family, the God King Wu Hui. Rumble. Countless light dots rose and gathered in the desolate border, and even the 9 heavens immortal region. That's the power of faith. The experts of the Western sect and the Gulan sect were shocked when they saw this. Each light dot was the prayer and faith of a creature in the immortal region. They prayed, hoping that Jun Wuhui could continue to protect the border, protect the immortal region. The dense and endless light of faith rose from all over the immortal region, converging into a supreme tide of faith and surging toward the skyless dark world. A creature's faith and prayer might be as insignificant as a flame. However, 100, 1,000, 10,000, in the end, the faith power of countless creatures converged. It could turn into heaven-shocking power, engulf the darkness. That is. The foreign kings all felt like they were suffocating at this moment, their eyes revealing a hint of shock. The tide of faith formed from millions and millions of creatures left these foreign kings shocked to an indescribable degree. This is precisely the power of faith. Divine Universe, Great Emperor said softly. That flood of faith crossed the desolate border, pouring into the skyless dark world. How is this possible? So much faith power. Outside the dark world, the undying kings who were fighting were all shocked, speechless. So this is the true source of Great One's power? Shanao of Beech was also incomparably shocked. In the past, he believed that Jun Wuhui was still a bit of a distance away from his benefactor. But now, only then did Shanao of Beech discover something. Jun Wuhui wasn't weaker than the Jun family's eternal emperor in the slightest. The dark world that was like an eternal night was illuminated by the resplendent light of faith. Within Jun Wuhui's body, the sound of all living beings chanting could be heard. An endless flood of faith supported his body. It made Jun Wuhui's entire body surge with golden divine light. Jun Wuhui was like a god of war reborn from the flames, reborn from the faith of all living beings. What a terrifying power of faith! Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were shaken. Ever since he obtained the seed of faith, he had also been researching the power of faith, and established the Destiny Church. In the end, he even had the power of 10 billion believers. But even so, the power of faith enveloping Jun Wuhui's body still made Jun Xiaoyao sigh with emotion. He recalled that Jun Wuhui had once left him a protective talisman. There was a sentence engraved on it. A gentleman's life, no regrets. Perhaps this was the reason why Jun Wuhui could obtain the faith of all living beings. Only a true hero was worthy of the devout faith of all living beings. At this moment, Jun Wuhui's entire body burned with divine flames. His head of black hair turned into a dazzling golden color, enveloped in divine light. On his jade-like face that looked as if it was carved by a knife, mysterious golden divine patterns appeared. Jun Wuhui's pair of eyes that were as awe-inspiring as the sun and moon also turned into a mysterious and deep dark gold color. It was as if the eyes of a god were looking down on the world. At this moment, Jun Wuhui's godly king body had already reached a new peak under the support of all living beings' faith. Could that be the legendary ultimate transformation of the godly king body, the primordial godly king body? In the celestial realm, countless old antiques were shocked, their scalps tingling, and they were so shocked that they couldn't speak. The godly king body was ranked very high among the 3,000 physique. Since ancient times there had been some stunning godly king bodies. But legend had it that there was an ultimate transformation of the godly king body called the primordial godly king body. However, this kind of transformation of the primordial godly king body was too rare. In the long era, there were not many godly king bodies that could reach this level. The only record was that in the Antiquity era, there was once a primordial godly king body. And the records about that primordial godly king body were also very simple. Tearing a true dragon apart with his bare hands and stepping on a divine phoenix. Fighting desolate ancient sacred body, heaven-slaying tyrant body. He had even suppressed a current-era chaotic body. His battle record was so strong that it was a mess. But now, countless years had passed since then. Another primordial godly king had appeared in the world. At this moment, billions of living beings in the celestial realm were incomparably excited and cheered toward the sky. Jun Wuhui, who had transformed into the primordial godly king body, gave everyone hope. In the dark realm, the ultimate calamity that stood in the endless black tide looked indifferently at Jun Wuhui in front of him. There was a trace of surprise in his pitch-black eyes, but they were still as calm as dead water. Is this your true trump card? But you still can't escape death. Although the primordial godly king body was extremely heaven-defying, what he was facing was the great terror of the world, the ultimate calamity. Jun Wuhui smiled, extremely carefree. His golden hair was dazzling, and the light of faith burned like divine flames. It made Jun Wuhui look like a supreme godly king bathed in golden divine flames. A real man is born between heaven and earth. There is no fear of life and death. If there is only darkness left in the world, then I am willing to be the only spark. If there are 10,000 sparks in the world, then I am willing to become the flame that burns the prairie. Suppress calamity on behalf of all living beings. His clear voice resounded throughout the universe. This scene was enough to be engraved in the hearts of all living beings in the celestial realm. The ultimate calamity's gaze focused on Jun Wuhui, his eyes as cold as an ice abyss. Since that's the case, then I will fulfill your benevolence and righteousness. The ultimate calamity changed his mind. He no longer wanted to pollute Jun Wuhui, but wanted to kill him directly. He raised his palm, and the vast black tide surged. The power of black blood surged, shaking the boundless universe. This was an invincible dark power. Seeing this, Jun Wuhui pushed his divine power to the limit. Every strand of hair seemed to be burning. The primordial godly king body exploded with unprecedented powerful divine power, shaking the heavens for thousands of miles, laughing proudly in all directions. Jun Wuhui's entire body shone brilliantly. In the end, his entire body seemed to be burning in the endless flames of faith. One person as a torch, dispelling the darkness of all worlds. Twilight of the Gods, Dawn of the Human World. Chapter 1105. Incomparable light was emitted from Jun Wuhui's body. Everything was annihilated in this light. Dusk of the Gods, this was the ultimate move of the divine king body. But now what Jun Wuhui used was not only Dusk of the Gods. With the support of the power of faith of all living beings, Jun Wuhui had an even more terrifying move after Dusk of the Gods. Dawn of the Human Realm. After Dusk of the Gods, the dawn of the human realm would arrive. This was the ultimate mystery of the divine king body's ultimate move. Endless dim yellow light shone. But in the light of dusk, the first light of dawn appeared. That was the dawn of the human realm. It was this dawn that broke through the endless darkness. Even the hand of the law of darkness that the ultimate calamity reached out was pierced through. An indescribable collision was born and destroyed in this universe. Not even the slightest sound was emitted, because the medium that transmitted sound was destroyed. The universe was silently collapsing. All kinds of chaos energy and even space-time cracks were created. In this unimaginable collision, everyone was watching nervously. In the desolate land, the hearts of the creatures of the two worlds seemed to have stopped. They held their breaths and waited, watching the scene in the light screen. Even the entire light screen became unstable because of the impact of that energy. Lord Divine King, countless people were praying. This move is enough to be recorded in the history of the immortal realm. Divine Universe Emperor sighed. Regardless of whether this battle was successful or not, Jun Wuhui and this move of his was enough to be remembered for all eternity. In the universe of the dark realm, a trembling sound came. Everyone saw in shock. That was the ultimate calamity that had been invincible since its awakening, bringing endless killing to all living beings. But it was retreating. It retreated dozens of steps. The hand he reached out emitted a burnt smell. The golden light of faith of all living beings was like a flame, burning the darkness. The ultimate calamity spat out a small mouthful of black blood. His rotting body, which was covered in black blood, also had traces of being burned. The ultimate calamity was injured. At this moment, the world was deathly silent. The ultimate darkness that was known as all living beings, the great calamity of the foreign realm, was injured. This was simply something that all the foreign creatures could not imagine. It was as if his faith had collapsed. In their eyes, the invincible ultimate calamity was actually injured. No, this is impossible. How could the great calamity be injured? I don't believe it. There were foreign undying kings roaring, heaven and earth shaking. They couldn't believe their eyes. Great, invincible God King! On immortal domain's side, all creatures were excited, roaring and roaring. The ultimate calamity that appeared in the world with an invincible stance was injured. This was of great significance. The fact that it could be injured meant that it was an ultimate calamity that could be suppressed or even eliminated. The ultimate calamity was not an eternally invincible existence. However, compared to the cheers of countless cultivators from the immortal region, the top experts of the immortal realms, Emperor Shen Yu, Emperor Xian Ting, Big Dipper Emperor, and the others didn't look too relaxed. They had witnessed the power of Jun Wuhui's move. It could be said that even great emperors could be easily killed. In fact, he could even slay stronger existences. However, this attack only managed to injure the ultimate calamity. It did not deal any fatal damage to it. Moreover, since the ultimate calamity was injured, then would Jun Wuhui be in a good state when he collided with it? Such worry caused many experts of the immortal realms to frown. Meanwhile, on Dark Realm's side, when Jun Xiaoyao saw the injured ultimate calamity, a dark light flashed past his eyes. That power of faith seems to have the effect of restraining the power of black blood. Jun Xiaoyao observed very carefully. He noticed. The power of faith was like a golden flame, burning the power of black blood. Although it wasn't a complete restraint, it could indeed deal effective damage to the ultimate calamity. Jun Xiaoyao immediately thought of his seed of faith. In his inner universe, the seed of faith that had been brewing for a long time, shining as brilliantly as the sun. It was time for it to blossom and bear fruit. However, father's condition, Jun Xiaoyao immediately looked towards the other side of the battlefield. He was a bit nervous, not knowing what Jun Wuhui's situation was. It wasn't just Jun Xiaoyao, everyone was paying attention. The Jun family's elders, old ancestors, and ancient ancestors all stared at the screen of light without blinking. In an expanse of chaotic and destroyed nothingness, a light appeared. A hazy figure appeared before everyone's eyes. Blood-dyed white clothes fluttered, his back perfectly straight. He had a head of brilliant golden hair, every strand translucent. It was precisely Jun Wuhui. And how could this be? A cold and hoarse demonic voice echoed, shockingly coming from the ultimate calamity. The reason why he was so surprised was because Jun Wuhui didn't seem to have suffered any injuries. This scene shocked everyone's eyes. How could this be? The foreign kings were all stupefied, unable to believe what they were seeing. Even the ultimate calamity was injured, so how could Jun Wuhui be unscathed? Could it be that he is forcefully holding on? Just as the creatures of both realms were puzzled, behind Jun Wuhui, a dazzling golden supreme decree appeared. That is, countless creatures were deathly silent, unable to make the slightest sound. There were some sharp-eyed supreme experts who saw some of the words on the golden decree, sucking in a breath of cold air. Then, the eyes of many great figures from immortal domain all landed on the Jun family. Could that be a decree left behind by that person from the Jun family? When many people thought of this, they all felt their scalps go numb. Inside Dark Realm, the golden decree surged with the wind, like a golden heavenly curtain, spreading towards the entire dark universe. Meanwhile, on that decree, there were 2 lines of words written like dragons and snake. The heavenly Tao's coronation is nothing more than a burden. I corroborate the Tao, transcend 10,000 tribulations to become an immortal. Every single word was powerful enough to shake the heavens and crush the endless space and time. Jun family, heaven abandoning great emperor's decree. Jun Wuhui patted his chest, coughing out blood from his heart, landing on the heaven abandoning decree. Summon the ancestors' true spirit, join me in suppressing the darkness calamity. Jun Wuhui sacrificed his true spirit with blood. Some supreme experts could manifest part of their power if their descendants called them by their names. Not to mention now, There was the heaven-abandoning decree and Jun Wuhui's blood as a medium. An inexplicable vast power emerged from the heaven-abandoning decree. Every ancient word on the decree seemed to come alive, shining brilliantly like ancient stars. Then, a blurry figure quietly appeared. That figure carried a domineering aura that could suppress the heavens and trample all realms. It was like the Emperor of all realms, the Lord of all realms. Countless stars revolved around the blurry figure. Billions of galaxies were just a stream under his feet. The vast galaxy was just a pebble beside his feet. A power so vast that it was about to open up this universe was surging violently. The Jun family's heaven-abandoning emperor's true spirit had appeared. That's really the Jun family's heaven-abandoning emperor's true spirit. TSK, the Jun family's most glorious emperor in recent times. Although he's called an emperor, his true strength is unfathomable, far beyond the reach of ordinary emperors. No wonder. I said that no matter how brave Jun Wuhui is, he can't be so reckless as to face the ultimate calamity alone. So it turns out that Jun Wuhui has been hiding this trump card all along. When the heaven-abandoning emperor's true spirit appeared, the beings of both realms were in an uproar. Many people didn't expect that Jun Wuhui had already prepared for it. Heaven-abandoning emperor, the invincible ancestor who abandoned the heavens. Jun Xiaoyao was also shocked. The Jun family's most glorious emperor in history had manifested his true spirit to fight the ultimate calamity. What would the result be? Chapter 1106. Inside the skyless dark world, boundless power filled the universe. Although that blurry figure was only Qi Tiandi's true spirit, its power far exceeded that of a true great emperor. All emperors respected it, all creatures worshipped it. This was the Jun family's most stunning existence since ancient times. Vigorous energy swept out in all directions. The thick black fog was dispersed by this energy. The dark universe welcomed a brilliant dawn. Ultimate calamity looked towards Qi Tiandi's true spirit. A hint of seriousness appeared in those pitch-black and numb eyes for the first time. Just a true spirit. If your true body descends, I might be able to take you seriously. Ultimate calamity's tone was still cold. Black blood flowed on his body. The injuries from just now were also healing on their own. However, the faith energy of all living beings was like flames, burning ultimate calamity's body, preventing him from healing completely. After hearing ultimate calamity's words, the foreign kings in the desolate border couldn't help but feel shocked. One had to understand that ultimate calamity was absolutely invincible from the moment he appeared in the eyes of the world. No existence was worthy of calamity's attention. But now ultimate calamity said that if Qi Tiandi's true body descended, he would be worthy of being taken seriously. This was already an extremely high evaluation. It seems that the one from the Jun family is indeed a bit unimaginable. Some foreign kings' expressions were grave. Qi Tiandi, white-robed divine king, son of God Jun Xiaoyao. Geniuses appear in every generation. How lucky is the Jun family. On the immortal domain's side, many undying forces' great figures sighed. 3 eras, 3 monsters. Any force that could obtain one was already extremely lucky. The Jun family, however, had one in every era. This undoubtedly made people's eyes turn red. However, now that the Jun family's Qi Tiandi's true spirit has appeared, will he be able to fight against calamity? The creatures of both worlds were nervously watching. This was the greatest change. Skyless dark world, ultimate calamity stood in the boundless dark universe. His pitch-black eyes were filled with abyss-like coldness. He reached out a palm, covering the universe. Endless dark runes branded the sky. They were targeting Qi Tiandi's true spirit, Jun Wuhui, the mother of the red spider lilies, Jun Xiaoyao, and the others. The ultimate calamity actually wanted to wipe out everything. This time, ultimate calamity did not act like a cat toying with a mouse like before. He was truly going all out. That hand of the law of darkness swept across the universe. The boundless tide of black blood followed the hand of law and rushed towards Jun Wuhui and the others. Fight! Jun Wuhui's murderous voice burst forth from his mouth, like a golden spear and armored horse, shaking the heavens. At this moment, Jun Wuhui, who had transformed into the ultimate grand primordial god king body, had reached the peak of his strength again. A godly king forbidden technique was used, its might increased by 10 times. The light of absolute beginning surged, as if the entire universe was about to collapse. On the other hand, Qi Tiandi's true spirit was blurry like the ancestor of 10,000 emperors standing in the universe. Just like ultimate calamity, Qi Tiandi's true spirit didn't use any techniques or abilities. Instead, it was just as simple as a palm strike. For an expert at this level, ordinary abilities were just a burden. One fist and one palm strike, returning to the basics, was enough to destroy the heavens. Rumble. It was as if there were tens of thousands of universes pressing down together with Qi Tiandi's true spirit's palm strike. The heavens were destroyed. All things fell. The strength of Qi Tiandi's true spirit was beyond everyone's imagination. The mother of the red spider lilies also activated unparalleled power. However, her goal wasn't to fight against ultimate calamity. It was all done to ensure Jun Xiaoyao's safety. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao had become a burden. His expression was cold. For the first time, Jun Xiaoyao, who had always been high and mighty and unrivaled, felt a little redundant. However, this was normal. After all, even a great emperor couldn't interfere in a battle of this level. If one interfered, they might become cannon fodder. Jun Xiaoyao was only a prime. The difference between them was indescribable. At this moment, no one in the immortal region would blame Jun Xiaoyao. How old was Jun Xiaoyao? He was only in his 20s or 30s, but he had already become the hero of the immortal region, sealing the evil intent of the gods with his own body. However, Jun Xiaoyao himself wasn't satisfied. He had high expectations for himself. He wasn't willing to just watch the show. At this moment, in Jun Xiaoyao's inner universe, the seed of faith that was as bright as the sun continued to tremble. As the power of faith converged, it seemed that something incomparably powerful was about to be born. However, time waited for no man. Rumble. A destructive collision erupted. Everything seemed to have been sent back to the beginning of the universe. All kinds of space-time cracks appeared, reflecting all kinds of scenes from the past and present. This scene was too shocking. Even a battle between great emperors wasn't as grand as this. It was as if the world was going to be destroyed. The light screen in the desolate border was trembling violently. Apparently, it was disturbed. However, it was still barely visible. At this moment, the beings of both worlds held their breath. They didn't know what would happen next. Could Qi Tiandi's true spirit block the power of ultimate calamity? When the universe's chaotic mist scattered, the scene appeared. Qi Tiandi's true spirit stepped on the great Tao, an endless world revolving around him. Boundless Emperor's radiance illuminated the heavens and 10,000 worlds. He blocked it. Qi Tiandi's true spirit blocked calamity's full power palm. At this moment, countless immortal domain cultivators were shouting, their necks all red. They were incomparably excited. Immortal domain had hope. Jun family's people were also incomparably happy. At the same time, they felt proud. On the other hand, the expressions of the foreign experts all changed. When the invincible ultimate calamity was no longer so invincible, faith would begin to waver. The battle hasn't reached its end yet. We don't know what the result will be like. Exactly. The great calamity is indestructible. The immortal Emperor race's experts said coldly, bracing themselves. However, it was clear that the confidence in their words wasn't as great as before. Skyless dark world. Qi Tiandi's true spirit towered above the universe, Emperor's radiance illuminating everything. Jun Wuhui also stood in the void. Even though there was blood flowing from the corners of his mouth, it wasn't a big problem. With the absolute beginning godly emperor body and the support of the faith of all living beings, his strength had reached the absolute peak. Ultimate calamity's pitch-black and numb eyes flickered with unprecedented coldness upon seeing this. The light of a grain of rice dares to compete with the brilliance of the moon? Ultimate calamity reached out his hands. An incomparable tide of black blood swept over from every corner of the universe. It was like a pitch-black tide that was going to drown the boundless universe. It was a terrifying forbidden move, and also a move that could destroy the world. If it landed in the nine heavens' immortal realm, it was easy to imagine what kind of calamity it would bring. Countless living beings would be stained by the black blood. They would fall into a frenzy of killing and chaos. The move covered everyone in the skyless dark world at the same time. Su Hongyi had long been knocked back by Jun Xiaoyao. Xunlu had left too. Qi Tiandi's true spirit and Jun Wuhui were able to resist the move. The red spider lily's mother unleashed her might to resist the force of calamity and protect Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Cough blood was flowing down from the red spider lily's lips. Even though her strength had greatly surpassed the immortal emperor's, she was still a little powerless against the force of calamity. She was injured. Senior Jun Xiaoyao's eyes glittered. The red spider lily's mother, whose black dress was stained with blood, looked extremely pitiful. "I'm fine." The red spider lily's mother's voice sounded a little weak. Meanwhile, something in Jun Xiaoyao's space artifact shuddered. "Is that?" Jun Xiaoyao froze for a moment. He immediately took it out. It was the grimace mask that he had obtained from the bronze immortal palace. Chapter 1107. This bronze devil face mask was incomparably clumsy, looking like it was crying, but also laughing. However, it was something the devil-masked woman left behind in the bronze immortal palace. And now this devil face mask suddenly trembled, releasing a wave of aura that made one tremble. This cosmos seemed to have produced some type of resonance. Streak after streak of incomparably ancient and profound patterns appeared in the dark void. Great Tao patterns interweaved, divine chains of order colliding, interweaving with each other. In the end, they formed a great taboo formation that encompassed this world. Meanwhile, this great taboo formation's aura was completely incompatible with the ultimate disaster. In other words, this great taboo formation wasn't set up by the ultimate disaster. That is, a formation. How is this possible? Everyone who saw this scene was stupefied. This was especially the case for the foreign kings. They knew that heavenless dark realm was the foreign side's eternal forbidden land. Apart from a few ultimate emperor clan kings, there were also the world eradication 6 kings of the past who could enter. Other creatures couldn't enter at all. There was even less of a need to talk about setting up a formation. Yet now, there was this type of incomparably terrifying great taboo formation that appeared. This left all of the foreign creatures in disbelief. How could this be? Who set this up? An undying king inwardly clenched his teeth, unable to believe this. This was equivalent to unleashing a great move at the gates of one's home. Could it be the Jun family's doing? If it isn't the Jun family, could it be? There were foreign undying kings who thought of that stunning endless generations, that mysterious woman who no one dared to stop when she entered the foreign side. This is, inside heavenless dark realm, when he saw the great taboo formation appear, Jun Xiaoyao was also a bit stunned. He looked towards the devil face mask in his hand. Could it be that this is the key to activating the great taboo formation? This means that the devil-masked woman predicted that I might come to the foreign side and face the disaster? Jun Xiaoyao felt that this was a bit inconceivable. If this really was the case, then the devil-masked woman's arrangements were just too deep. This devil-masked woman who wandered through ancient history had previously left behind many contingencies. Each time, it would help Jun Xiaoyao at the crucial moment. In the Bronze Immortal Palace, Jun Xiaoyao obtained all life source energy, as well as the devil face mask. At that time, Jun Xiaoyao didn't even know the use of this devil face mask, only casually putting it away. But now, it had become the key to opening the forbidden formation in the depths of the dark world. It could only be said that the demon-masked woman had calculated every step accurately. Moreover, Jun Xiaoyao recalled that the red spider lily's mother had once said that the ghost-masked woman had once entered the dark skyless world. Jun Xiaoyao thought that the demon-masked woman had met the ultimate calamity before. From the looks of it, the ultimate disaster should still be in a dormant and sealed state at that time. The ghost-masked woman took the opportunity to lay down a forbidden array. He believed that he could help Jun Xiaoyao in the future. This plan was simply a stroke of genius. That aura ultimate disaster looked at the ghost face mask in Jun Xiaoyao's hand. During the period of his slumber, he had vaguely sensed that a shocking aura had arrived at the skyless dark world. But in the end, he left silently. It would appear that the Grand Taboo formation had been set up at that time. At this moment, the forbidden Grand Formation was being activated. Red spider lilies bloomed in the void. At the same time, a misty river appeared, bringing with it the aura of time. It was the River of Time. The formation of this forbidden Grand Formation had temporarily manifested the River of Time. What kind of shocking technique was this? Even Qi Tiandi's true spirit was looking at the River of Time. The beings of the two worlds in the desolate border were also staring. It could be said that no one had expected this unforeseen turn of event. The Jun family still has reinforcements? Someone was puzzled. Under the gazes of billions of people, a slender and beautiful figure appeared on the other side of the River of Time. She was peerlessly beautiful, like a celestial flower blooming in ancient history. She also looked like a female celestial who had walked out of a painting. Her stunning appearance made countless people a little dazed. Many men were instantly captivated, worshipping her as a goddess in their hearts. Even some women were dazed. They didn't feel jealous at all. They only felt that she was extremely stunning and moved their hearts. The only pity was that the peerless woman was wearing a ghost face mask, so they couldn't see her face clearly. Who is that? Some people were puzzled. Some of the ancestors of the Jun family were a little enlightened. It's indeed that heaven-defying anomaly who has lived in many worlds. It seems that she has a deep karma with Xiaoyao. Some of the ancestors of the Jun family were also relieved. At first, they were still very cautious about this karma. But now, it seemed that this karma was beneficial to Jun Xiaoyao and the Jun family. Countless people were staring at the light screen. Now that the situation had changed, everyone was waiting to see how the ending would develop. As for the kings of the foreign lands, they somehow had a bad feeling in their hearts. Inside the dark skyless world, on the other side of the River of Time, the ghost-masked woman's figure appeared. She stepped on thousands of daos and walked through time. Her true strength was also a mystery. However, she, who had lived in many worlds and traveled through ancient history, obviously couldn't be weak. It's you, the mother of the red spider lilies, looked at the ghost-masked woman. A peerless figure that was deeply engraved in her mind appeared. The ghost-masked woman looked past the mother of the red spider lilies and looked at Jun Xiaoyao. 10,000 years in a glance. She just watched silently, not making a sound, not saying anything. She was like a silent, peerless fairy. Humph! A cold snort shook the vast expanse. The ultimate calamity made its move again, wanting to destroy this forbidden formation. Setting up a formation in front of his home was already an extreme offense. The ghost-masked woman's peerless fairy appearance turned into a brilliant rain of light at this moment. The rain of light directly poured into the mother of the red spider lilies. In Jun Xiaoyao's hand, the ghost mask directly floated up and then fell towards the mother of the red spider lilies. The current mother of the red spider lilies was no longer just the mother of the red spider lilies. The ghost-masked woman manifested the River of Time through the forbidden formation. Part of the power was transferred to the mother of the red spider lilies. Because the mother of the red spider lilies was originally the ghost-masked woman's body, there was no rejection when the power merged. The mother of the red spider lilies, now, it should be said that the ghost-masked woman raised her hand and put the ghost mask on her peerless and flawless face. Suddenly, boom! Fragments of time danced. Vast power surged. Endless red spider lilies bloomed like fire in the dark universe. The surging aura was no weaker than Qi Tiandi's true spirit. Instantly, the auras of Qi Tiandi's true spirit and the ghost-masked woman burst out at the same time, shaking this part of the universe. Even the undefeatable aura of the ultimate calamity was suppressed. How is this possible? The ultimate calamity's expression turned serious. Although he seemed to be undefeatable now, he wasn't in his complete state. Qi Tiandi's true spirit was one thing. There was also the ghost-masked woman who came from the other side of the river of time. Even though he was undefeatable like the ultimate calamity, he still felt the vast and surging pressure sweeping toward him. It's time for an end. Jun Wuhui activated the absolute beginning godly king physique to the extreme. The power of faith of all living beings gathered and turned into a brilliant godly spear that could pierce through all worlds. This move, dawn of all living beings. Jun Wuhui threw out the brilliant godly spear. It pierced through the vast universe and dispelled the heavy darkness. Qi Tiandi's true spirit also moved. As he raised his palm, endless power gathered. This was a power that could make even the heavens tremble. Endless brilliant emperor tribulation light appeared. It was even more terrifying than the wrath of the heavens. A terrifying godly punishment descended. This was the power of Qi Tiandi. The ghost-masked woman who was borrowing the body of the red spider lilies also moved. An endless rain of petals swirled in the air, and each petal seemed to reflect a great world. In each great world, there was a peerless empress who stood at the peak of time. She was peerless and had an otherworldly aura. 100,000 great worlds, 100,000 bodies reflected, suppressing the vast darkness. This superpower was unparalleled in the past and present. With a thought, flowers bloom, the sovereign descends upon the world. The most pleasant voice came out of the ghost-masked woman's lips and teeth. It contained the most terrifying power in the world. Godly King Jun Wuhui, Qi Tiandi's true spirit, ghost-masked empress. The three supreme techniques suppressed the ultimate calamity together. Chapter 1108. It was hard to describe that type of terrifying fluctuation. It was simply as if all worlds were about to be destroyed. That wave of destructive power, even the great emperors were a bit shocked when they saw it. It could be called a great era confrontation. Jun Wuhui, who possessed the absolute beginning divine king physique, supported by the faith of all living beings. The Jun family's most stunning true spirit in recent times, Qi Tiandi. In addition, there was the ghost-faced empress who wandered through ancient history, her strength unimaginable. When the three great supreme powers joined together, it was enough to suppress everything. This dark universe seemed as if it was about to be destroyed. Even if the skyless dark world's order and laws were different from the outside world, extremely sturdy, right now it still couldn't hold on, collapsing piece by piece. Jun Xiaoyao urged all of his divine might, resisting this wave of fluctuation, but he was still blasted back, the blood and qi in his chest surging. Even someone as freakish as Jun Xiaoyao was shaken when resisting this wave of aftershocks. One could imagine how terrifying this collision was. Even if a supreme being fell into it, they would be instantly torn apart, shattered into nothingness. Meanwhile, in the desolate border, that screen of light actually trembled intensely. In the end, with a pu sound, it was destroyed. Hurry, hurry and show it! There were undying kings who shouted loudly. This was the most crucial moment. It might even decide the direction of the future great war between two worlds. Boom! Several ultimate emperor race kings joined hands, their auras surging, reflecting the scene inside skyless dark world. In an instant, The gazes of millions and millions of creatures were drawn over. On celestial domain's side, countless people were also watching nervously. Dong, dong, dong. Between heaven and earth, sounds of vibration sounded. Those were the hearts of countless creatures of the two worlds, thumping loudly, extremely nervous. Under the gazes of millions and millions of people, on the screen of light, that dark universe that seemed to have turned into primal chaos finally slowly revealed itself. Countless time cracks, void vortexes, scattered in all directions. The entire universe was beaten into ruin. One had to understand that this was the Tao field of ultimate disaster, incomparably sturdy. Even a great emperor's full-power attack would find it difficult to cause great damage. But now it was like a broken house, teetering on the verge of collapse. Cough, endless demonic sounds sounded, carrying the sound of blood coughing. Everyone watched in horror as drop after drop of black blood fell from the primal chaos pervading nothingness. Every drop of it smashed through the void. This, could it be, all of the foreign creatures, including the kings, felt their hearts become a bit cold. Finally, the chaotic mist in the void dissipated. The figure of ultimate calamity was revealed. At this moment, his chest was pierced through by a dazzling golden divine spear. It was the spear of dawn of all beings that Jun Wuhui had condensed with the power of faith of all beings. In the destructive collision just now, abandoned Heavenly Emperor's true spirit and the ghost-masked woman had cancelled out the power of the ultimate calamity. Jun Wuhui's dawn of all beings spear pierced through ultimate calamity's chest. Cough, cough. Ultimate calamity was coughing, its rotting body emitting sizzling sounds of burning, and white smoke was rising. The power of faith of all living beings had a certain degree of restraint on the power of black blood. His body seemed to be disintegrating. Pieces of rotten flesh fell to the ground. Black blood was also dripping down. The current ultimate calamity was very different from his previous invincible state. He was in a sorry state. No, how is that possible? O great calamity, how could this be? When they saw this scene, the eyes of the foreign creatures were about to pop out, crying out in horror, in disbelief. The ultimate calamity that brought immortal domain, the ultimate calamity, was actually going to end in such a sorry state? None of the foreign creatures were willing to believe this. Meanwhile, right at this time, the space around an ultimate emperor clan king rippled, actually wishing to return to the other side and provide assistance to ultimate calamity. Where do you all want to go? Divine Universe Great Emperor and the other Jun family's 3 emperors stepped out, stopping them. There was also Xian Ting's Great Emperor who moved, locking onto the foreign undying kings. The other immortal domain's supreme experts also stared closely at the other side's movements, not allowing them to return and provide assistance. Jun family, you all are provoking the disaster of clan annihilation. Ultimate Emperor Clan's king's voice was cold to the extreme, carrying extreme killing intent. Heh! What goes around comes around, how similar is this scene? Divine Universe Great Emperor sneered. Just now, Jun Wuhui and the others were in a critical situation. They wanted to provide assistance, but they were stopped by the other side's kings. Now, the situation was completely reversed. They naturally wouldn't allow the other side to provide assistance. Right when Desolate Border's battle situation was sluggish. On Dark Realm's side, Jun Wuhui and the others took action again. Kill. The 3 great supreme beings took action again, wishing to press the advantage and completely end calamity. How could I have been defeated by ants like you all? Ultimate Calamity, who originally didn't have the slightest bit of emotion, finally produced a type of emotion called anger. He roared towards the sky, his demonic voice shaking through endless time. However, in the eyes of outsiders, this was more like a final howl of grief before death. Jun Wuhui's absolute beginning deity king body was activated to the extreme, supported by all life's faith. He was like an absolute beginning deity king, suppressing endless time. Qi Tiandi's true spirit, even though he didn't say a word from start to finish, erupted with power that made even the heavens tremble. The demon-masked woman was also powerful beyond compare, borrowing the Permetha flower mother's flesh to display the ultimate method, illuminating all worlds, all of them suppressing over. This type of battle was too terrifying. Order crumbled. Great Tao obliterated. In the end, the three of them faced calamity, fighting until heaven and earth were destroyed. Even someone as powerful as Calamity was forced back repeatedly, unable to pull out the dawn of all life spear in his chest. His rotten flesh continued to disintegrate, black blood dripping down. In the end, one of Calamity's rotten arms fell off. Then, his legs also fell off. His chest was burned pitch black. His handsome face that was wearing half an iron mask was also twisted to the extreme, appearing eerie and sinister. Ah! In the end, it was accompanied by an earth-shattering roar of anger. Ultimate Calamity's physical body was completely destroyed by the three great supreme beings. Black blood and rotten flesh scattered in all directions like meteors, falling into the boundless shattered dark universe. The ultimate Calamity was defeated. His flesh scattered and disappeared into the universe. That terrifying destructive power exploded like a nuclear bomb, returning that area to the chaotic void. Heaven and earth rumbled with Tao sounds and became deathly silent. All sound seemed to have disappeared in an instant. At this moment, in the desolate border, a rare absolute silence enveloped heaven and earth. There were clearly millions and millions of creatures gathered, yet no one released a sound. When the foreign creatures saw Calamity's body completely collapse, explode, their minds went blank. The mighty Calamity, the ultimate Calamity who brought endless calamity to a mortal domain, died just like that? Am I dreaming? No, all of this is fake. After a momentary deathly silence, clamoring sounds tore through the heavens. The foreign creatures were shouting, their faces deathly pale, their faces ashen. There were even more creatures who fell to the ground, in disbelief, directly fainting. How is this possible? Even some undying kings didn't dare believe this. Ultimate Calamity died just like that? It was completely different from the other side. Immortal Domain's creatures were so excited that they found it hard to control themselves. In the border pass, Fourth Master Scar and the others were shouting, incredibly excited. We won, we won. Immortal Domain's cultivators were all roaring towards the sky, venting their emotions. On the battlefield of heavenly talents, there were even more female cultivators who were moved to the point of shedding tears. This is too great, everything is over, big bro Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli was so happy she shed tears, her sparkling eyes overflowing with sparkling tears. The longing in her heart could no longer be suppressed. She really wanted to see Jun Xiaoyao. However, right when all of Immortal Domain's creatures were cheering from the joy of victory, Divine Universe Great Emperor and the other Jun family's three great emperors stood in the void with their hands behind their backs, their expressions not changing much. There were also the Jun family's ancient ancestors and Xian Ting's great emperors who were like this. There wasn't much joy on their faces. On the other hand, even though the other side was howling in grief, roaring out. However, those ultimate Emperor Clan Kings' expressions were cold like ice, their eyes staring rigidly at the screen of light. Did they really think it would end just like this? An ultimate Emperor Clan King who had once entered the heavenless dark world sneered. At this time, a few Immortal Domain creatures also noticed through the screen of light. Even though Ultimate Calamity was already defeated. However, Jun Wuhui and the other two still stood in the void, their expressions not relaxing in the slightest. Instead, there was a trace of seriousness. Could it be a few Immortal Domain creatures suddenly had a terrifying guess in their hearts? Heavenless Dark Realm. Jun Xiaoyao looked at the ultimate calamity that had completely collapsed, his brows tightly furrowed. It ended just like this? Jun Xiaoyao kept feeling that something was wrong. Rumble. Right at this moment. In the depths of Heavenless Dark Realm, in the dark universe that was already riddled with holes. An unimaginably large shadow slowly appeared. The order of heaven and earth shattered, and even the great Tao was wailing. All existences seemed to be about to return to eternal silence in front of that enormous shadow. Chapter 1109. This was a type of indescribable feeling. Just when everyone thought that everything was over, a voice suddenly rang out. They instead welcomed this type of terrifying change. What is that thing? On the screen of light, the terrifying scene of heavenless dark world appeared. A shadow that was as massive as the universe slowly appeared from the darkness. All of the immortal domain cultivators stopped at this moment, horror appearing in their eyes. Wasn't the ultimate disaster already eliminated? What is that? Many immortal domain cultivators revealed expressions of fear. It was precisely the so-called, the unknown was the most terrifying. Forget about the immortal domain cultivators, even the foreign creatures were a bit stupefied, not snapping back to their senses, their minds completely blank. Just now, they were still howling in grief, in despair. They never expected the situation to change like this. Did the main character come? Divine Universe Great Emperor's eyes also became serious. Everyone was holding their breaths, not daring to breathe too loudly, as if they were waiting for a nightmare to descend. In the depths of heavenless dark world, an indescribable aura spread, simply about to overturn everything. This was a type of power that could easily wipe out all life. Many heaven and earth great Tao were collapsing. The look in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes sharpened as well. Just now, he already felt that something wasn't quite right. He felt like things weren't this simple. Now, it seemed like he indeed thought of the ultimate disaster too simply. Under the gaze of millions and millions of eyes, that shadow in the depths of heavenless dark world finally surfaced. Meanwhile, with a single look, everyone felt like they were about to suffocate. What kind of monster was that? What appeared before everyone's eyes was shockingly an eyeball. An eyeball that was as large as an ancient life star. That eyeball was like a dark red spark, but also like it was formed from countless pieces of rotten flesh. Thick black blood seeped out from the eyeball. In the eyeball's surroundings, there were countless tentacles densely packed. Every single tentacle seemed to be able to extend into a world. There was also black blood flowing from the tentacles. It was as large as an ancient star, flowing with black blood, as if it was condensed from rotten flesh. There were also densely packed tentacles. This scene was enough to make one feel suffocated, their minds in chaos. There were even more immortal domain female cultivators who were going crazy, vomiting crazily, feeling like their minds were going crazy. It was indescribable. They couldn't look straight at it. This was the true face of the ultimate disaster. What exactly is this thing? An immortal domain cultivator couldn't help but cry out, about to lose his rationality, even his soul about to be emptied. As expected, this is the true body of the ultimate calamity. The so-called ultimate calamity from before was merely a projection. The Divine Universe Emperor murmured, his expression turning extremely solemn. What? This is the true ultimate disaster. All the cultivators of the immortal region were dumbfounded. After such a difficult battle, what he had defeated was only a projection of the true ultimate calamity's power. Plop! Many immortal domain cultivators felt their legs go weak, collapsing onto the ground, instantly having all of their strength sucked out. This was just too despairing. There wasn't even the slightest bit of hope. Meanwhile, on the other side, most of the creatures were also stupefied. They were all shocked. This was the first time they saw the true face of the ultimate disaster. And to be honest, it was a little disgusting. He couldn't look at it directly, and his mind was about to go crazy. It was completely different from the ultimate calamity that they had imagined to be like the god of darkness. This is the true face of my world's ultimate calamity. Ultimate Emperor Clan's king's voice even stirred up great waves, becoming a bit excited. Something's not right on that eyeball. There is a sword. On Immortal Domain's side, a great figure spoke up. Ultimate Calamity's true body, this was just too shocking. That was why many people subconsciously overlooked it. On that planet-sized eyeball, there was actually a sword inserted into it. That sword was also incomparably massive, piercing through the eyeball. It swirled with resplendent, murderous, immortal light. Even though it had been inserted into the eyeball for endless time, it still revealed its sharpness, releasing intimidating immortal radiance. This made many Immortal Domain experts' pupils suddenly contract. Could that be the immortal killing sword? Many experts' scalps turned numb, sucking in a cold breath of air. Immortal Killing Sword, Immortal Domain's most famous murderous immortal weapon, its whereabouts always unknown. Yet now, it was inserted into the Ultimate Calamity's true body. Meanwhile, who was it that inserted the Immortal Killing Sword into the Ultimate Calamity's body, forcing it into a sealed state? The eyes of many Immortal Domain Undying Powers experts all landed on a group of people. June family. Could it be that legend is actually true? That the June family previously really had an unimaginable taboo existence, one that had previously entered the foreign realm, fighting against the ultimate calamity? Immortal Academy's great elder was also incomparably shocked. Previously, Immortal Domain had always had a rumor that in the bygone era, there was a June family taboo existence that fought against the ultimate calamity. However, this was proven false by Xian Ting, Archean royalty, and other powers, saying that it was a false rumor. Now, it seemed like this was the truth. That June family taboo existence should have used the Immortal Killing Sword to suppress and seal the ultimate calamity, forcing it into a state of slumber. The ultimate calamity still hasn't truly recovered. When he saw that Immortal Killing Sword, the ultimate Emperor Clan's king said coldly. However, even if it hadn't completely recovered, its power was still enough to destroy everything. On Skyless Dark World's side, he looked at the planet-sized black blood eyeball with the Immortal Killing Sword inserted into it. Jun Xiaoyao's eye was also extremely surprised. He never expected that the true ultimate calamity was actually just an eyeball. Then, whose eyeball did it belong to? However, Jun Xiaoyao understood the cause and effect. His Jun family's ancestor had used the Immortal Killing Sword to suppress and seal the ultimate calamity. As for the ultimate calamity, it sealed itself in the heavenless dark world, recuperating and accumulating strength. Even the creatures of the foreign domain found it difficult to enter, let alone the creatures of Immortal Domain. The Jun family and Jun Wuhui's goal was the Immortal Killing Sword. Previously, when Jun Wuhui appeared, he had also said this. He came here to retrieve something that belonged to the Jun family. The Immortal Killing Sword actually belongs to my Jun family? Jun Xiaoyao also felt that it was inconceivable. The Immortal Killing Sword was a supreme killing immortal artifact. It was also a peak existence among immortal artifacts. He also understood that the remnant sword energy he encountered before was actually left behind by the Immortal Killing Sword. The reason why Jun Xiaoyao felt that the sword energy was a bit familiar was because the Immortal Killing Sword originally belonged to the Jun family. Jun Wuhui came to the foreign domain to hide in order to wait for the Six Kings to open the heavenless dark world and then obtain the Immortal Killing Sword. He completely understood the cause and effect. But there was only one thing that Jun Xiaoyao couldn't understand. Jun Wuhui wanted to retrieve the Immortal Killing Sword, then what method would he use to deal with the ultimate disaster? Just as Jun Xiaoyao was thinking, endless demonic sounds rolled out. That huge eyeball that was stained with black blood like a planet, although it didn't have a mouth, it could directly emit a mighty sound. Do you really think that the Jun family's seal can suppress me forever? Impossible, the endless black disaster will attack, cover the vast expanse, and collapse the celestial realm. The blood-stained eyeball, the true disaster, released an astonishing power, and endless black blood burst out. The Immortal Killing Sword also bloomed with bright immortal light at the same time. It was simply like a true immortal descending to the world, killing everything. The immortal killing sword originally belonged to my June family. Today I will retrieve it, but you will also die. Jun Wuhui said coldly. The blood in his heart directly fell on the immortal killing sword, and at the same time, his hands formed a seal. In an instant the immortal killing sword seemed to have awakened. Extremely bright immortal light flowed on the blade, an endless light rain shone brightly. There was even a blurry humanoid figure that appeared. That was the immortal killing sword's spirit, and it was actually awakened by Jun Wuhui. This was a method left behind by the Jun family's taboo existence. It's the Tongtian ancient emperor. He still left behind a backup plan? The ultimate disaster's voice was cold, and a monstrous power of darkness burst out, wanting to completely break free from the immortal killing sword's seal. Chapter 11:10. The Tongtian Ancient Emperor? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. He heard another name from the ultimate calamity. This reminded Jun Xiaoyao of the ancestor of the Jun family, who had discussed the Tao with the Azure Emperor. The primeval ancient emperor Jun Yuanshi. Primeval, Tongtian, could it be Jun Xiaoyao suddenly remembered the so-called Three Pure Ones? The primeval Lord of Heaven, the Tongtian sect leader, and Taishang Laojun. Of course, this was just an instinctive association. There was no real connection. However, Jun Xiaoyao felt that these three should be the real big shots of the Jun family. They had set up an ancient scheme that spanned across epoch. Even the ultimate calamity was part of their scheme. However, the situation was still grim. The crisis had not been resolved. The Tongtian ancient emperor had left a backup plan in the immortal slaying sword. Even the sword spirit of the immortal slaying sword had been activated by Jun Wuhui. However, the ultimate calamity that had been sleeping for eternity had also accumulated a lot of power and recovered a lot of its strength. After all, as long as the black blood spread, the ultimate calamity could absorb energy from the polluted world. This was the terrifying part of the ultimate calamity. It was very difficult to destroy. Even someone as powerful as the Tongtian ancient emperor had only sealed the ultimate calamity with the immortal slaying sword. More importantly, the ultimate calamity was just an eyeball. If this eyeball belonged to a forbidden existence, it was simply unimaginable how powerful that existence would be. The immortal slaying sword was awakened, releasing a sword light that could shine for eternity. The blurry figure, the sword spirit of the immortal slaying sword, was also attacking. An immortal artifact had a spirit. In fact, the spirit of an immortal artifact was already strong enough to fight against an immortal. The boundless power produced by the collision seemed to have swept through billions of universes. All kinds of Daos were on the verge of collapse. Attack. Jun Wuhui attacked again. Qi Tiandi's true spirit and the ghost-masked woman also attacked. However, compared to before, their power had weakened. After all, one of them was a true spirit that had manifested, while the other had transferred part of his power to the mother of the hurricane Lily through the river of time. Neither of them could fight for a long time. Now, the two of them were exhausting the last of their strength to injure the ultimate calamity. Another world-shaking battle broke out here. Other than Jun Wuhui's trio, the immortal exterminating sword and the immortal exterminating sword spirit also joined the battle to seal the ultimate calamity. The immortal slaying sword radiance surged, releasing billions of strands of immortal light. There was immortal Tao lightning that erupted in the void, flickering about, as if it was going to destroy the dark worlds. As a supreme killing weapon, the power of the immortal slaying sword shocked everyone. Only such an immortal artifact had the ability to seal the ultimate calamity. That's terrifying. So this is the power of the god-slaying sword. I didn't expect the Jun family to have such a powerful weapon. Although the immortal slaying sword is strong, I feel that the ultimate calamity is even more terrifying. The immortal slaying sword has been sealed for a long time, but it still hasn't been completely destroyed. What is this eyeball? Is it really the eye of some unimaginable taboo existence? Some people were guessing, and they felt their blood run cold. A single eyeball could be called the ultimate calamity, causing boundless darkness and calamity. If the eyeball really had an owner, what kind of existence would that owner be? Right now, Immortal Domain's people's minds were in chaos, extremely nervous as they stared at the screen of light. Meanwhile, the Foreign Realms kings let out sighs of relief, their expressions calm. Since the calamity chose to awaken at this time, it means that it has accumulated enough power and is going to completely appear in this golden age. Countless creatures from both worlds were paying attention to this final battle. In the skyless dark world, all kinds of great destruction erupted. The void was beaten into primal chaos, and then the primal chaos returned to nothingness. The ultimate calamity's power was indescribable. Black blood flowed, turning into a long river that engulfed the heavens. At the same time, many tentacles were densely packed, like whips condensed from divine chains of order, viciously lashing at Jun Wuhui and the others. Space exploded from the lashing, endless dark runes splashing out. Cough! Jun Wuhui was forced back again, blood appearing at the corner of his mouth. Even with the absolute beginning divine king body, he was also covered in wounds and couldn't hold on much longer. Qi Tiandi's true spirit dimmed a bit. After all, this was only a wisp of true spirit. There would come a time when its power was exhausted. As for the demon-faced woman, her delicate skin began to crack. That was the physical body of the Hurricane Lily Mother. It couldn't hold on much longer. After all, the demon-faced woman's power was still too strong for the Hurricane Lily Mother. In addition, she was clashing with the ultimate calamity. No matter how strong her physical body was, she couldn't hold on much longer. The fact that the Hurricane Lily Mother's physical body could hold on for so long was enough to prove her strength. No one can stop the ultimate calamity's attack. Everything will be drowned, and the epic will be destroyed. All of you are just mantises trying to stop a chariot. The ultimate calamity's demonic voice swept across the sky. It activated its most powerful technique. Endless dark power surged. Then, under the shocked gazes of billions of creatures, many dark figures were reflected in the void. They were the Dark Emperors and undying beings who had been tainted by black blood, demonized, and fallen to the side of darkness. Each of them was extremely blurry. Black particles and dense black mist emanated from their bodies. They were extremely blurry. It wasn't just one figure or two. Instead, over 100 densely packed dark silhouettes were reflected in the light. All the cultivators in the celestial realm were about to suffocate. They felt as if their hearts were being squeezed tightly by a pair of invisible hands. Hundreds of dark emperors and undying kings. What kind of concept was that? Although they were just imprints and projections, they were still powerful enough to make one shudder. Roar! Hundreds of dark emperors and undying beings' projections rushed towards Jun Wuhui and the others. That kind of fluctuation was indescribable. It could easily tear apart the world. Boom! 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 In an instant, countless explosions sounded between heaven and earth. This was the ultimate calamity's most powerful technique. It could reflect the once contaminated emperors and undying beings. Jun Wuhui was once again forced back, besieged by more than a dozen Dark Emperor's projections. There were even Emperor's imprints that instantly self-destructed, injuring Jun Wuhui. On the other side, the Hurricane Lily Mother's body cracked like porcelain, and there were even bloody wounds. If the demon-faced woman continued to exert even more power, not only would she be unable to attack, but she would also directly cause the Hurricane Lily Mother's body to explode. A faint sigh fell from the corner of the demon-faced woman's lips. She had tried her best. She had transmitted power from the other side of the river of time. However, the Hurricane Lily Mother's body couldn't withstand all of the demon-faced woman's power. Now, if the demon-faced woman didn't stop, the Hurricane Lily Mother's body would directly collapse. Her power started to fade and disperse. The river of time appeared again. That peerlessly beautiful figure stood on the other side, gazing at Jun Xiaoyao. She seemed to be silently praying that he wouldn't die and survive this calamity. There was a loud bang. The river of time turned into light rain and dissipated. The hurricane lily mother's consciousness returned. Her red lips spat out a mouthful of blood. She felt extremely weak and was about to disintegrate. On the other side of Qi Tiandi's true spirit, dozens of dark emperors and undying beings' projections surrounded him and then self-destructed. The power that exploded shook Qi Tiandi's true spirit. A true spirit being able to fight until now and unleash such terrifying power was enough to shock everyone. But now Qi Tiandi's true spirit also sighed. Then it disappeared like the moon in the water. The heaven-abandoning Dharma decree also lost its golden light and dimmed. When this scene appeared on the light screen in the desolate border, all the cultivators in the celestial region fell silent. Their bodies were like wood and their hearts were dead. What was the most tragic thing in the world? It was the birth of hope in despair, and then the destruction of that hope would lead to even deeper despair. Rather than that, it was better to end everyone's hopes from the beginning. It's over. It's all over. At this moment, all the souls in the celestial region cried. They were all in despair and prepared to welcome the final destruction of darkness. Chapter 11:11. Previously, when Jun Wuhui and the other two supreme experts destroyed the ultimate calamity, everyone was overjoyed. They thought that the calamity would be nipped in the bud, and the celestial domain would be fine. However, who would have thought that the ultimate calamity was just a projection of power? Now, the true ultimate calamity had appeared. It carried the terrifying pressure of an ultimate boss. That dark power was enough to make all living creatures despair. It was as if everything in the world was about to be pulled into eternal darkness by the ultimate calamity. Everything is over. When the ultimate calamity breaks free from the seal of the immortal slaying sword, it will be the time for the celestial domain to face the ultimate calamity. At that time, the foreign realm will invade. Billions of lives will be bathed in blood, and the ultimate calamity will come early. Many celestial domain cultivators were in despair. There were even some present-age geniuses who roared with unwillingness. No, how can it be like this? I don't believe it. This is a golden era. I haven't fully grown yet. How can I be willing to die like this? That's right, our era hasn't arrived yet. We haven't truly grown. The ending shouldn't be like this. Many peerless geniuses were shouting. They couldn't accept this result at all. This was a golden age. Geniuses rose and kings competed for supremacy. There was no lack of opportunities to prove their Tao. The reason why many seed-level geniuses went into hibernation was to wait for this golden era. Now, the black calamity struck, and all living creatures were about to be pulled into the darkness. Their future was cut off early, and they didn't have time to grow into supreme experts. This was undoubtedly the deepest despair. Many seed-level geniuses couldn't help but vomit blood, their expressions indignant. Is it really over? The Jun family ancestors clenched their fists tightly, unable to calm down. Although the Jun family had trump cards and could protect themselves, this wasn't the result that the Jun family wanted to see. Most importantly, Jun Wuhui and Jun Xiaoyao were in extreme danger. Jun Wuhui was still fine, as he was only one of the three pure ones. If Jun Xiaoyao died, it would undoubtedly be a fatal blow to the Jun family. If it really doesn't work, even if my Jun family has to sacrifice everything, we will slaughter our way into the foreign realm and save the father and son. Jun Taixian, Jun Te, and the other quasi-emperor ancient ancestors also had resolute and cold expressions on their faces. Xiaoyao Gij in the desolate border, on the battlefield of the two worlds' geniuses. When Jiang Luoli saw the scene on the screen, her tears fell like rain. She hated him. She hated herself for being too weak and unable to help Jun Xiaoyao. She hated herself even more for not being able to stand by Jun Xiaoyao's side at his most critical moment. Even if they died together, Jiang Luoli would not regret it. Ling Yan silently watched the scene on the light screen. His heart was also clenched as if it was being torn apart. She knew that no matter what, Jun Xiaoyao had already been engraved in her heart and soul. She couldn't keep her heart as still as water and remain indifferent. It was not only Jiang Luoli and Ling Yan. Everyone else who was related to Jun Xiaoyao, his followers, his former friends, and even some of his enemies were all lamenting. Everything was over. Skyless dark world. Qi Tiandi's true spirit dissipated. The ghost-masked woman's power disappeared. The only ones left were Jun Wuhui, whose white robes were stained with blood, the heavily injured mother of Hurricane Lily, and Jun Xiaoyao. At most, they could add the power of the immortal slaying sword and its sword spirit. However, even if it was as powerful as the immortal slaying sword, without a supreme expert controlling it, it could not completely suppress the disaster. In other words, the situation was over. It was as if the outcome was already decided. No existence can trap me. The world will wait for eternal darkness to descend. The ultimate disaster, demonic voice echoed. Endless black blood surged towards the immortal slaying sword. Even the sword body that was shining with immortal light started to spread inch by inch of darkness. The immortal slaying sword's body was hazy as it tried its best to resist. However, it was still not enough. The disaster had been sleeping for countless years, accumulating power. Since it had awakened, how could it be suppressed so easily? Seems like there's no other way. The Hellflower Mother sighed as well. Her delicate body was covered in a hazy light as she healed her injured body. Even someone as powerful as the Hurricane Lily Mother could not do anything about this situation. At this moment, Jun Wuhui's voice sounded. Xiao Yao, you should leave first. Father will stay here. Jun Wuhui stood in the void, his body burning with the divine flames of faith. His tone was very calm, without the slightest feeling of parting with life and death. This was just one of Jun Wuhui's 3 pure ones. Jun Wuhui had already thought it through. Even if his body was destroyed, he would protect Jun Xiaoyao and leave. Jun Xiaoyao heard this and shook his head silently. Xiaoyao, you are not an impulsive person. Jun Wuhui frowned slightly. Although he had never fulfilled his responsibility as a father. However, he had been paying attention to Jun Xiaoyao's news. Jun Xiaoyao was meticulous and calm. He was not the kind of person who would act on impulse. Seeing this, Jun Xiaoyao silently took out a protective talisman. This was left to him by Jun Wuhui. Father, in the protective talisman you left me, it was engraved that a gentleman would have no regrets in his life. Now, you want me to leave like this? Sorry, I can't do it. In terms of benefits and losses, Jun Xiaoyao's best choice was naturally to escape. Jun Xiaoyao had always been a calm and rational person who prioritized benefits. But now, he did not want to think about these gains and losses. He did not want to think about the outcome. He only wanted to fight. Jun Wuhui fell silent. Then, he smiled again. This was his son. He was proud. Rumble. The tentacles of the ultimate disaster lashed out. It did not give Jun Wuhui and the others time to recover. Jun Wuhui took a step forward, like an invincible divine king. He did not try to persuade Jun Xiaoyao. This was Jun Xiaoyao's own choice. The Hurricane Lily Mother also made a move. She knew that there was the layer of karma from the demon-masked woman. She and Jun Xiaoyao were destined to be inextricably entangled, unable to completely separate. Look, the Divine King is still fighting. He still hasn't admitted defeat. In Desolate Border, many dejected immortal domain cultivators raised their heads, seeing Jun Wuhui who was still fighting on the screen of light. Every single one of their eyes revealed moved expressions. Many people's eyes were completely red. It was to the extent where even the 7-foot-tall man had tears falling from the corners of his eyes, sighing for Jun Wuhui. For immortal domain to have this type of hero, it was the blessing of all living things. Feudal resistance, is there any meaning to it? When the foreign kings saw this, they all felt great disdain, extremely cold and disdainful. This type of resistance, in their eyes, was stupid and laughable. They might as well directly accept their fate. Your June family really is stubborn. The ultimate disaster demonic voice echoed, carrying indifference and coldness. The immortal killing sword already gradually couldn't suppress it. Boundless darkness power seeped out from the ultimate disaster's body. Its tentacles lashed out at will, tearing apart great Tao order. Jun Wuhui was blasted back, his white clothes already dyed in blood. The Permetha flower mother also suffered damage to its foundation. Meanwhile, Jun Xiaoyao watched all of this. His handsome and incomparably handsome face froze like iron. For the first time, this was the first time Jun Xiaoyao felt a bit powerless. However, he didn't want to experience this type of thing. He had an unrivaled Tao heart, an undying faith. Unrivaled, this was the synonym for Jun Xiaoyao. No one could topple this. Even if what Jun Xiaoyao was facing right now was the ultimate disaster. Rumble. Jun Xiaoyao's unrivaled faith seemed to have stirred up the seed of faith in the inner universe. In an instant, that seed of faith that shone like a blazing sun suddenly erupted with millions and millions of strands of brilliance. A golden sea of faith surged. Jun Xiaoyao's entire body was surrounded by resplendent golden light of faith. Behind him, the seed of faith turned into a blazing sun, floating in the air. Crack, that seed of faith that had been brewing for a long time finally completely cracked open. Following that, what was released was a monstrous power, accompanied by the chanting and praises of all living beings. The existence that had been brewing within finally revealed itself. A golden avatar that was tens of thousands of feet tall broke out of the cocoon of the seed of faith, standing tall within the heavenless dark world. It was as if a supreme deity had broken through the world and descended here, suppressing the darkness. In an instant, the heavens shook and the darkness was dispelled. Countless gazes from both worlds landed on the golden avatar behind Jun Xiaoyao. Endless shock appeared in the eyes of all living beings. Chapter 11-12. The minds of the billions of living beings in the two worlds went blank when they saw this scene. Their thoughts were broken. What did they see? In the boundless dark realm, a golden Dharma body stood in the dark universe. The god's body was tens of thousands of feet tall, and it was surrounded by the golden power of faith. It was as if billions of living beings surrounded the golden Dharma body, praising, worshipping, and praying. What's that? Are there more reinforcements? No. No, it looks like the Son of God of the Jun family. Although the golden Dharma body was shrouded in mist and light. Even so, everyone was still able to see that his godlike appearance was exactly the same as Jun Xiaoyao's. In other words, this golden Dharma body was not a true spirit like Qi Tiandi. Instead, it was Jun Xiaoyao's own technique. Thinking of this, countless living beings in the two worlds felt their scalps go numb. They could not believe it. They could feel that the golden Dharma body was extremely powerful. The Emperor's aura was vast and mighty. The god's aura filled the air. This was not a technique that a supreme being should be able to use. However, Jun Xiaoyao did it. Not to mention others, even Jun Xiaoyao himself was speechless. He did not expect the seed of faith to give birth to a Dharma body. Yes, this was not an ordinary Dharma body. It was a Dharma body formed by the power of faith of all living beings. Generally speaking, only gods could be worshipped. For example, the true Lord of Gulen of the Gulen sect and the one-armed Lord of Hades the Hades bloodline were examples of supreme beings who became gods and were worshipped by all living beings. Jun Xiaoyao could feel that this Dharma body alone had the potential of a god. If there was enough power of faith, it would not be a dream for the Dharma body to become a god in the future. As expected of a 9-star reward. Jun Xiaoyao sighed secretly. When he got the seed of faith, He was curious about how it could reach the 9-star reward level. Now he understood. The 9-star reward was a little low. At least, Jun Xiaoyao thought that the seed of faith was definitely worth 10 stars. At this moment, the golden godly spiritual body stood in the darkness like a giant torch, illuminating the darkness. Even Jun Wuhui and the red spider lily's mother were surprised by the surging power. Xiaoyao Jun Wuhui didn't know what to say. Wasn't his son a little too heaven-defying? As expected, those who are chosen by her won't fall into such dire straits so easily. The red spider lily's mother muttered to herself. The blood-stained eyeball, which was the size of a planet, was the ultimate calamity. Its gaze carried a terrifying pressure as it landed on Jun Xiaoyao. To be honest, an existence like calamity was also a little unexpected. It could feel the surging power of faith contained in the golden godly celestial body. This might not be able to completely restrain the power of his black blood, but it would at least affect it to a certain extent. It's just an empty shell. Once the power of faith is exhausted, this Dharma body of yours will be completely useless. Ultimate Disaster's voice echoed throughout the universe. It had to be said that it had indeed seen through some things. Jun Xiaoyao's godly spiritual body was powered by the power of faith. It was precisely because of the support of 10 billion believers that the godly spiritual body could be used. Otherwise, why would Jun Xiaoyao need to cultivate? If he directly summoned the godly spiritual body, he could crush all the geniuses of the past and present with one finger. Even the great emperors couldn't do anything to Jun Xiaoyao. But that was unrealistic. There were gains and losses. Of course, if Jun Xiaoyao had enough believers, hundreds of billions, trillions, hundreds of trillions, the power of the godly spiritual body would naturally increase exponentially. Whether it's useful or not, it's enough to suppress you now. Jun Xiaoyao's hair fluttered, and his eyes were filled with disdain. Previously, he could only watch from the side as his father and the others fought bloody battles, but he couldn't do anything. Now, he had the godly spiritual body. Jun Xiaoyao finally had the qualifications to join the battlefield. Fight! The word fight burst out from Jun Xiaoyao's mouth. Golden spears and armored horses, vast and mighty, swallowing tens of thousands of miles like a tiger. This was Jun Xiaoyao's suppressed anger bursting out. All the unwillingness from before was vented at this moment. Rumble! Jun Xiaoyao made a move, and the 10,000 feet godly spiritual body behind him also made a move at the same time, acting in unison with Jun Xiaoyao. The golden godly spiritual body stretched out a golden palm, covering the sky, and slapped down like the hand of an ancient god. The void within hundreds of millions of miles shook and resonated. The bright golden light of faith tore through the heavy darkness. Swoosh! The tentacles of ultimate disaster swung out and collided with the golden palm of the godly spiritual body. Monstrous waves burst out, the world trembled, and boundless chaotic energy surged. What made all the living beings' eyes dull was Jun Xiaoyao's godly spiritual body blocked it. Hiss! Jun family's son of God, what kind of method is that? It feels like some kind of godly spiritual body, but it is too powerful, on a completely different level from the Jun family's Son of God. The desolate border was trembling. Countless immortal domain cultivators were pleasantly surprised by Jun Xiaoyao's performance. This father and son pair were truly monstrous and unparalleled. This method left even the foreign kings shocked. Some immortal kings even felt a great sense of pressure from the godly spiritual body. On the Jun family's side, many geniuses were roaring, excited. Jun Xiaoyao's performance was simply stunning. Even Divine Universe Great Emperor was surprised, but his eyes were deep, seeing some clues. A supreme godly spiritual body with the power of faith as the foundation? However, the consumption is too great, it can't last long. It was indeed as Divine Universe Great Emperor thought. At this moment, every time the godly spiritual body attacked, it would consume a huge amount of power of faith. This power of faith was all collected by Jun Xiaoyao during the time he was in the foreign realm, establishing the Destiny sect. It wasn't too little, but it wasn't too much either. After all, the opponent of the godly spiritual body was the ultimate calamity, so the power of faith consumed was naturally more. I have to end the battle as soon as possible, but what should I do? Jun Xiaoyao's brows were tightly furrowed. The godly spiritual body only gave Jun Xiaoyao the qualifications to participate in the battle. But to say that it could directly kill the ultimate calamity was a bit of a stretch. But the power of faith couldn't support the consumption of the godly spiritual body for a long time. Therefore, the situation fell into a dilemma. Jun Wuhui and the mother of the spider lilies were also taking action, assisting the godly spiritual body and the immortal slaying sword to suppress the calamity. But this wasn't a long-term solution. However, on the desolate border side, the Jun family's ancestor was shouting, "Xiaoyao's godly spiritual body is activated by the power of faith. Let's chant together and support Xiaoyao with the power of faith." The Jun family's ancestors' words quickly resonated. At this moment, in the heavenless dark world, Jun Xiaoyao was the last hope, the last light. In addition, Jun Xiaoyao had used his body to suppress the evil thoughts of the gods and saved the border and the world of the godly ruins. He had also earned a wave of heroes' faith. So now, no one would reject him. At the border, the fourth Master Scar shouted loudly, "A tiger father will not beget a dog son. The son of the godly king has also saved the world of the godly ruins and the border. He is the hero of the immortal realm." Immediately, the endless power of faith appeared again. That was the faith and prayers of all living beings in the immortal realm to Jun Xiaoyao. They prayed that Jun Xiaoyao could end this dark calamity. Just like before, Jun Wuhui had supported the power of faith of all living beings. At this moment, the endless golden light spots turned into a torrent, crossing the foreign realm and injecting into the godly spiritual body. The godly spiritual body, which was originally slightly dimmed, shone with a divine light. The power of faith seemed to have turned into golden flames, rising on the surface of the godly spiritual body. The power of the godly spiritual body increased by more than several times. Not enough, the power is not enough. Jun Xiaoyao's brows were tightly knitted. Although this power was strong enough, it was not enough to deal with the ultimate disaster. Right, a thought flashed through Jun Xiaoyao's mind. He still had a trump card that he hadn't used. The heavenly black blood. This was a 10-star reward that was higher than the 9-star reward. If Jun Xiaoyao fused with it, he would be able to enter the dark state and his strength would skyrocket. But he had never had the chance to use it. Then, what would happen if he fused the heavenly black blood with the godly spiritual body?